What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Very good morning to you. 5 minutes past 6. That's Ben Foster, who's with me this morning talking about the Ireland goal that gave them that amazing 3-2 victory in Hungary. What about the celebrations? Ben, morning to you, by the way.
Good morning, mate. Good morning.
What about the celebrations for that goal?
Incredible. That's what football's about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what a few days Troy Parrott's had. Of course, he was... Let's be honest, he was a forgotten man, wasn't he? Totally forgotten man.
He's on fire as well, playing his club football. And then I was watching the end of that game. If you want to see sort of limbs, if you want to get into the joy of football, just watch the last few minutes of that game. It's brilliant. That's what it's all about.
And you know, we talked about it yesterday. It would be absolutely fantastic for the World Cup, being in the States with a huge Irish population there. You know, if the Republic were able to get there, it would
all the home nations. I'm a big fan
yeah.
of the home nations. That's the rivalries. That's what we want to see.
Well, you look at tonight. What a night it is for obviously Steve Clarke and everybody who's Scottish, for Craig Bellamy because they're desperate to come second in that group, and for Steve McLaren, who's in charge of Jamaica these days. And if they beat Curaçao tonight, they qualify for the World Cup finals, which is just brilliant.
As many home nations as possible. And we want to see Steve McLaren back as well. We want to banish the memories of the Wally and the Brolly and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. They take on Curaçao, a tiny nation, but Curaçao actually, they just need a draw and they qualify, which is incredible. I think Dick Advocaat, I think, is their manager.
We've got a few managers. Is it Graham Potter at Sweden as well at the minute?
Yeah.
I saw something online yesterday, actually. I think 8 of the top 10 most populated countries in the world are not going to be going to the World Cup.
Whoa.
I think only Brazil and I couldn't remember the other one that are going. I can't remember.
Yeah. And Brazil lost 6 times in qualifying, which I think we might discuss a bit later in the programme. On a lot of the back pages this morning, Thomas Tuchel, who obviously has come through qualifying absolutely brilliantly, faultlessly, blemish-free. The talk is he'd like to hold talks with 60 England players before his squad selection was, to put them in the picture of where they stand. Do you think his squad basically is already, he's got it written down somewhere, and barring injury, do you think it's sort of already set in stone?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the 50-60. I think that's too much, but I think he has probably got a good 25 solid.
Yeah,
that he's fairly, even 20 maybe solid that he's sure of. But I was talking about it with somebody yesterday. I think when it comes to the actual starting 11, I still think there's probably only 4 or 5 set in stone names.
Really?
4 or 5.
What are the 4 or 5 then?
Goalkeeper.
Yep.
Mark Gahey, Declan Rice, Harry Kane. I think are probably the only ones set in stone at this moment in time. And between now and the next internationals in March, I think this is where we're going to see the real sort of jiggery pokery of who makes it into that squad.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the talk this morning has been about Trent Alexander-Arnold, because the managers said literally, he said, at the moment, Gerald Quansah is a tiny bit ahead of Trent. And he said, I've got a lot of trust in Quansah. I thought he did okay, you know, the other day in Albania. I'll be honest, playing not in a position that was really appropriate for him. But if you watch Liverpool over the years, which I assume he has, you're not going to put Gerald Quansah ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold, are you?
I think if you ask any Liverpool fans, they'll tell you the same thing as well.
Well, they might not now.
No, they might not now, yeah, definitely. But it just goes to show, though, that if you're not playing regular first-team football week in, week out, where you're relied on, where you get this real consistency of playing first-team football, then this is the knock-on effect of it. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of Liverpool fans who will kind of look at it and say, well, I told you so. I told you so. No, it's a tough one. Again, I think between now and March, injuries are going to play a massive part. Form's going to play a massive part. If Trent Alexander gets into the Real Madrid team and absolutely smashes it, then I guarantee you will be back in the frame.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. He's played 29 minutes since August for Real Madrid. So hard to select on that basis. Of course, part of that was due to injury, but it's interesting when you pick your 4 there. You didn't mention Jude Bellingham, whose place continues to be under scrutiny, coming up for debate. Former England midfielder Danny Murphy said on kick-off, though, he believes Bellingham simply has to start the tournament.
Bellingham fully fit, Cole Palmer fully fit, equal opposition would have had bigger impact, if not bigger, the same, because they're playing against such inferior opposition. Ultimately, if they're all at it, Bellingham plays. He's an unbelievable footballer who has done things at his age other young players have never got near to doing, and he's turned up for England on the big stage. If you think back to the last tournament, you know, the goals, the moments, and every time I watch England, he's the one who's leading the team. He's got tenacity, he's got athleticism, fire in his belly, the passion. I remember him going mental in a friendly when I think it was the game he might have even lost. But he was at it. He plays every game like that. And I think when you think back of the best players of the young players when they come in, Gerrard, Rooney, that type, they all played the same way. They're all on the edge.
So where do you stand, Ben, on Jude Bellingham? Obviously, you didn't say that it was an automatic starter there. Morgan Rogers has been the man in possession. Phil Foden is a 10 as well. Palmer too.
I agree. I agree with everything Danny Murphy's just said. However, the only caveat to that is that we're not the one that picked the team, and Thomas Tuchel is. And Thomas Tuchel does not like the theatrics that come with Jude Bellingham at times. So you see when he came off the other day, I just think about the psychology of it, right? There's been so much since the last international break. There's been so much written and spoken about. He is not quite the character that Thomas Tuchel is looking for. And then when he gets his opportunity to play, he gets brought off and he flings his arms in the air and he shrugs his shoulders. And I'm just thinking, mate, come on, just play the game, yeah? Even if you are really upset, just play the game, put a smile on your face. He'd have walked off the pitch, he got man of the match, and everybody would have gone, right, Jude Bellingham's back. But the fact that he walked off the way that he did just still leaves a few questions lingering around that I just don't know why he's done it.
And he must know the eyes of the world are on him.
Exactly.
You know, he is absolutely in the full glare of the spotlight because he is Jude Bellingham. And people say, well, you know, this has been an overreaction from the media in particular. And they might be right, but no other England player threw his arms up in the air when they were taken off.
He knows that the media are going to overreact. That's what they always do. It's a guarantee. So, like I say, just play the game. Just walk off the pitch cordially, clap the fans, shake the manager's hand. Brilliant. We've won the game, 2-0, job done. Thank you very much. See you in March. That's all he should have done. So the psychology of it just boggles my head a little bit as to why he did it.
Yeah. I mean, Tuchel's been picking Morgan Rogers prior to that game when he made obviously a host of changes. Do you think that Morgan Rogers effectively is the man in possession of that shirt?
Probably at this moment in time. But again, it's all about the next few months of football. It's all about the next few months of football. If he gets back to his best, Jude Bellingham's a better footballer. I don't think anybody's going to doubt that Jude Bellingham's probably in that position one of the best in the world, in world football. But that's not the part that Thomas Tuchel is looking for. He wants not only the ability, but he wants the team player, somebody that's going to drive his team in the most positive ways. I went to watch a rugby on Saturday at the weekend, and you would never see an England rugby player walk off the pitch trudging, throwing his arms about, doing anything like that. It's all about the team, and that's what Thomas Tuchel's about as well.
Yeah. Where does Cole Palmer fit into this jigsaw?
He needs to get back to playing his best. That's all we want from Cole Palmer. There's so many of them players in that position, that sort of number 10 position, where if they go on a real hot streak between, again, even now and the end of the season, Cole Palmer could score 15 goals between now and then. He could. So could Phil Foden. So could Anthony Gordon. So could any more of them players. And if one of them does that, they will be the one who will have hold of that position.
Discussion will go on and on and on until, of course, the next set of internationals in March. And it will be intriguing, won't it, to see just who can force themselves into the picture. Can Cole Palmer get fit again, get back to his best? Can Trent Alexander-Arnold get back into that Real Madrid team and make a real case for being part of the England squad? It's 26-player squad. Surely to goodness there's a space for Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back page and ask the question, should boxing be embarrassed by the AJ Jake Paul fight? We'll discuss that next. Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Foster is with me. Bit of kids in America to get this Tuesday morning going. But why are we playing it? Well, it is Kim Wilde's, this can't be right, it's her 65th birthday today. 65, Kim Wilde. I mean, she was a pin-up girl in her day. I can't believe she's 65. Do you remember this, Ben?
I do. I don't really remember Kim Wilde.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard of her. My dad used to play her a bit.
I don't. You make me feel really bad now. Really, really bad. Anyway, World Cup, of course, in the States. You're going to be going to the World Cup?
Yes, I don't know when or where or what yet. Obviously, the draw, I think, is 4th of December, isn't it? So I think everybody, the waiting world, is just waiting for that draw to see where they're going to base themselves, but definitely going to be out there doing something of some sort.
Yeah, me too. talkSPORT are taking me. What? talkSPORT are not taking me? Oh, well, that's it then. You go to amuse yourselves. No, I don't think I'll be going. I think I'll be watching from afar. But anyway, very much looking forward to it. Now, let's take a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business.
Back page review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Sign up today to get a £60 welcome bonus on our Black Friday deals. Offer ends 1st of December. Terms and verification at tescomobile.com/business.
Sam Queck's back with us. Morning, Sam.
Morning.
You must remember Kim Wilde.
I don't, you know.
No.
When you were saying Kim Wilde, I was like, again, showing my youth. I was like, is that the one? Is that one of the Pussycat Dolls? But then when you said 65, I was like, well, it can't be.
Yeah. Blimey. Well, thankfully, it's me and Ed. Me and you, Ed. DJ Ed. He remembers Kim Wilde, so. I don't remember her. Oh, I do remember her dad, Marty Wilde. Is that right, Ed? Yeah. Marty Wilde was like rock and roll singer, you know, in the 50s, I'm guessing now. 50s, early 60s, anyway, so.
Both pretty legendary.
Take your word for it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
God, I can remember things from the early 60s. Oh, no. Carry on, Sam. Digging a hole for myself.
Yeah, let's have a look at the back pages. We'll start with World Cup chat and, of course, England. Headlines like Trent's World Cup call, Tuchel on tour, and we need to talk. And this stems from Thomas Tuchel saying that he's going to hopefully be visiting Trent over in Spain and as well hoping to talk to around 60 other England possible players to basically let them know what they need to do to get in his World Cup squad. Now, that sounds pretty easy. Probably very difficult given the time and a lot of players to get through. But yeah, not face-to-face, maybe FaceTime, because he said,
FaceTime.
Yeah, he wants to see their expressions and it's difficult just to be on the phone. But yeah.
Where's he going to find the 60 of them from?
I don't know.
I mean, because 30 of them, 25 of them, it's going to be saying, you know.
Yeah, you're thinking outside.
Book your summer holidays, don't worry, you know.
Can you imagine if you get the phone call and it's a FaceTime and it's Thomas Tuchel who answers?
Yeah,
it'd be horrible,
by the way,
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And he's only ringing to tell you you're not in.
I know, because half of them are going to be getting told that exact thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, not this time.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
But yeah, here we go. Anyway, FaceTime, possibilities with technology. Beautiful. Also on the back pages as well, Scotland tonight. Headlines like write your own history, golden opportunity on the line, because a huge night for Scotland at Hampden Park tonight. They can qualify for the World Cup if they beat Denmark, who are currently sat top of their group, and they can qualify for the first time since 1998. What an opportunity for them.
Massive. I love all the home nation. I want as many there at the major tournaments as possible. Just the possibility of getting drawn either in the group with them or meeting them somewhere in the knockout stages. But I'm not one of these that doesn't want them to qualify. I want to see as many there as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Wales still can't qualify.
No, they can't. It's not tonight.
Hang on, they can, but
no, they can't.
They can't, not directly tonight, but they obviously want to win.
Of course, yeah.
As well.
They want to come
they
second in
they
their
want
group.
and they want a home semi-final in the playoffs. But of course, dominating the back pages and the headlines, we're going to go back to Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul. And what your thoughts are on this? I think there's two sides of opinions. First of all, it looks bad on boxing. It's frustrating. It puts Jake Paul in danger with the weight difference, the skill difference, the height difference. And of course, there's the entertainment side and the fact that this is going to draw millions of viewers to the sport.
It's everybody would do the same thing. Everybody would.
Yeah, I'm getting in the ring for 70 million.
Yeah,
even
so
today,
am I.
you would get in,
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
you?
would. Oh, yeah, I would. Of course I would.
So even you would. Sam.
I would, 100%.
Yeah.
So everybody's in the same boat. Everybody would do it. But I totally agree. It's a bad look for everything.
Yeah.
Bad look for everyone.
I would do it. I'd get in the ring, but would I want to watch it? No, thank you. No. Not.
Well, you're not.
all. No.
I'm going to be watching
It's a
it.
freak show, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's why you watch. That's why you're watching it, because I think the people who are against it are watching it, thinking, "I hope Anthony Joshua really puts him in his place." Because people are frustrated with these non-professionals, these YouTubers, these social media stars, thinking, "I can box." So I think there's going to be a group of people who are going to watch it for that sake, and then the people for the entertainment.
It's obviously going to get a massive audience. It will get a massive audience.
Are you not going to
Doesn't
watch
mean
it,
to say
honestly?
it's right. No, I won't watch it. No.
You're watching it.
I probably will, just because the same as it piques your interest, doesn't it? Because it's such a mismatch. It's Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua lands one proper punch on it, it's game over. It's a proper problem as well. So I get the feeling that it's going to be probably carefully orchestrated to make sure that he might last 1 or 2 or 3 rounds of kind of. But I bet he'll dodge around. I promise you, he'll be dodging around that. He'll be running around, in fact, actually, bouncing off the rope, trying to evade him as much as he possibly can for as long as he can.
There's got to be a clause in the contract when it comes to Netflix and entertainment. Yeah. They're not going to want a 1-round knockout, are they? But again, then you go back to where does this leave boxing?
Yeah.
Because yes, it's entertainment for sports fans and it should be a real sports contest, but you can't have a YouTuber or Netflix dictating how the fight unfolds. So surely this does ask questions about the legitimacy of boxing as a sport and where it stands.
Yeah, I think I agree, this does raise all those questions. I think Jake Paul, in fairness to him, though, what he's done for the women's game of boxing is incredible. He's a massive advocate for it, really pushes that. But this side of it kind of flies in the face of everything else as well. Because it's not really boxing, is it? It's not sport, it's entertainment. It's like WWE.
But the farce of it, I think, is shown by the fact his only heavyweight fight so far was against Mike Tyson, aged 58. And what a shambles that turned out to be as well, So I just think it's not from the point of view of Anthony Joshua. I think it's indefensible. From Anthony Joshua's point of view, 70 million. Oh, God. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take that all day long. So I completely get that. But in terms of the credibility of boxing, it's nonsense.
Do you think there's a risk for AJ if he doesn't do in the third or second, even first round?
Well, he loses.
There's a question mark. He loses all his credibility, what he's done previously. And he's using this fight accordingly. Obviously, he's taken the payday, but to almost kickstart his career after the loss to Dubois back in, September 2024?
This fight can't do his career any good. Even if he knocks him out in the first 10 seconds, how does this do his career any good?
But does it do his career any bad if he does knock him out in the first 10 seconds and then he can crack on?
I think the only thing that's going to be good for this is his bank balance. It is already incredible bank balance. It's just going to put a few more zeros on the end of it. Even if it takes him 3 rounds, what they might plan because it's a bit of entertainment, then in a few months' time, people are just going to be going, "Oh, well, it was just that money thing." Do you remember that money fight? That's all it's ever going to be.
Well, if it's not him, then it's going to be someone else.
Exactly.
Again, you go back to the Live Golf, when there was uproar about Live Golf, about, it's all just about the money. But people forget about that and they crack on.
There's a few months of grief, a few months of people talking about it.
I don't think this is going to be the end of these type of fights.
Oh, no,
not.
I'm sure it won't be. Yeah. And, of course, we're discarding the theory that what if Jake Paul just gets lucky with one punch?
Yeah.
And that is good night, AJ, end of career. I know he will go away with 70 million quid in his pocket, But
legacy gone.
Legacy gone. Ant says, "Good morning, Jeff and Ben." I'm sure he meant Sam as well. He said, "Jeff, I'm with you on AJ against Jake Paul. Not going to watch it. It is a mockery of the sport I love." And Ant, you have absolutely nailed it. That is precisely what it is. A mockery of the sport that many, many people love. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you very much.
And that was a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business. Coming up, Ben brings us his definitive list of the top 5 goalkeepers in the Premier League. Who would your top 5 be? That's next.
Backpage review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Sign up today to get a £60 welcome bonus on our Black Friday deals. Offer ends 1st of December. Terms and verification at tescomobile.com/business.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pitodry on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Yeah, very good morning. It's 6:34. It is Tuesday, November the 18th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, and Ben Foster, and our good friends at Arnold Clark. Get £750 off any used electric car or home charger. Now, for the next few minutes, we're going to talk goalkeepers. A few different names in the Premier League this season, of course. Gianluigi Donnarumma, Seni Lamens, Georgi Mamadashvili, Liverpool. But who stands out in the crowd? Ben will tell us shortly what he thinks of the Manchester United number one. Semi Lam's been in only 5 games so far, but has made an impression, or so it seems. And the United number one shirt, deemed to be one of the toughest to wear in world football. But we do have some great goalkeepers in the Premier League. So who are the top 5? Ben, shall we start with your number 5? We'll do it in reverse order as they do, shall we?
Okay. I've got to first of all caveat the fact that I'm not a massive fan of going 5-4-3-2. I'm happy to say the 5 because I just think it's so dependent on form.
All right. Well, let's do the 5, and then I'll nail you.
And then I'll pick my order.
I'll nail you for a number 1.
All right. So I'll read out the 5. Okay, who I think at this moment are probably the 5 top goalkeepers. Right. And I will say that I think there's some unbelievable goalkeeping going on in the Premier League at this moment in time. So I've got Emi Martinez, Aston Villa, Alisson, Liverpool, David Raya, Arsenal, Gigi Donnarumma at Man City, and Caoimhin Kelleher at Brentford. I think at this moment in time are probably the best goalkeepers, but there are probably other goalkeepers who are in more form or currently playing better than some of them as well. It's just being a top goalkeeper is so much more than just sort of your name and what carries with it. There's so much detail and data to look at with goalkeepers, such minutiae. It's a fascinating topic. I love talking goalkeeping.
Well, that's just as well, because we're going to do it for a while, because I'm interested there that in your top 5 there are no England goalkeepers. There's no Jordan Pickford, there's no Dean Henderson, and there's no Nick Pope.
Yep. So my 6, 7, and 8 are my 6, 7, and 8 are Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, and Nick Pope. And I still, if we just look at the England team for a second, I still think that Jordan Pickford is, of the modern era anyway, probably last 20 years, our greatest goalkeeper. I really do think so. I think for how underrated he is, I think he's a victim of the fact that he plays for Everton. No disrespect to Everton, by the way, but I just think that if he played for a big boy, everybody would be talking about him so much more than what they already do.
He's got 81 caps. I mean, he has been an automatic choice for almost as long as I can remember.
Yeah, it's just his reliability, especially over the last few years as well. I think if you look at maybe 5 years ago for Everton, there were a few periods and few spells, but nothing major. But in the last 4 or 5 years, for club and country, he has found this level of consistency that it just lends itself to England specifically so well. The run that he's on with the national team in terms of clean sheets is absolutely phenomenal. But just having that goalkeeper where you know you're going to get a 7 out of 10 every single game is such a nice thing for the manager. It's that reliability that managers want sometimes. If you watch Jordan Pickford, by the way, actually watch him during a game, he's a madman. Absolute madman. It's like he has all this pent-up energy. It's like nervous energy that he's got to expend. So when the ball goes up the other end of the pitch, he kind of runs around, he's flailing his arm around, he's talking to the bench, he's sort of almost commentating himself through the game. But I think he uses this to actually regulate himself, calm himself down, so that when he is called upon, he's ready to go and he's in a nice, calm state.
Yeah. I mean, the wild card in there, obviously, is Quivien Kelleher.
Yeah.
Who was forced to move because he couldn't get a regular game at Liverpool.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal this season. I think what he's been exposed to at Liverpool, because he played quite a few games at Liverpool, don't forget. Alisson's had quite a few spells where he's been out injured. I think the way he handled himself at Liverpool, for one, was phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant performances, really calm and measured. But I think that comes off the back of, one, obviously his character. I think that's just how he is as a person anyway. But secondly, just being surrounded by Alisson as the number one goalkeeper, getting to watch that week in, week out. Because if you watch him play Alisson, he is the personification of calmness under pressure. Any moment, you know that he's in full control of everything he's doing. And I think Quiven's had this chance to be able to really watch him and learn from the best in that position. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my time when I was at Man United with Edwin van der Sar. Same sort of thing. I didn't make it at Man United at the time, one, because I had Van der Sar in front of me where I used to just think, my gosh, you're so good. Honestly, you're so good. He's in control of everything. He's so calm. But when I did leave Man United, I was so well equipped then to deal with the rest of my career. It set me up for the rest of my career. And I think that's the same thing as what's happened with Quiven.
Yeah. It's interesting though when you said these are my top 5 right now.
Yeah.
Because I look back at last season and Nottingham Forest, Matt Sells might have been in there, but he hasn't had the same sort of season this season. How quickly I'm not saying it has with Matt Sells, but how quickly does confidence evaporate? Can it just be one mistake?
Yeah, it's really hard to put like a percentage on it. If you could say how important is the mental side of being a goalkeeper, it's so hard to put a percentage on, but it's at least 50%. It's half the battle, Jeff. It really is. You look already this season, we've had quite a few teams swapping their goalkeepers already. It's never a good sign. It's never a good sign. As soon as you start changing your goalkeepers, you know you're in a little bit of trouble. So Leeds have done it with Carl Darlow and Lucas Perry. Wolves, Jose Sarr and Sam Johnston. West Ham with Areola and Mads Hermansen. Bearing in mind, Mads Hermansen signed for a lot of money in the summer as well. Man United as well. Lemens, Anana, Bayindir, they've all had a go. So, yes, it can really change very quickly. It could be having a bad week of training. It could be making a mistake last week and you're carrying it into the next game. But like I say, it's all in your head. It really is.
I want to move on to Manchester United at the moment, but I said I would nail you down on the number 1. So who would be your number 1? Because you could probably make a case, for all, well, certainly 4 of the 5 of them anyway.
If I had to pick one, if I had a cup final tomorrow, I'm picking Emi Martinez.
Yeah.
I think his level of consistency over the last few years especially has been probably better than everybody else. There's no surprise, obviously, winning the Leviathan Award Best Goalkeeper last couple of years. Obviously, Gigi won it this year. But I just think for somebody who I know he's got too many X factors for me. That's why I think he's just the best. He's got so many X factors about him. I always try and look at the goalkeepers and see, right, what are the bits that are exceptional, real exceptional? And Alisson's got a lot. Raya's got an awful lot. But I think Emi Martinez has probably got more than the others.
Hard for a goalkeeper to be a leader, isn't it? But you get the impression that Martinez probably is that.
Without doubt. He leads by example as well, though. So even if he's not just shouting and talking and pointing, he leads by example of just pure will to win. You see some of the theatrics that he's done in the past in the FA Cup final against France, against Man United. Remember that Bruno Fernandes penalty where he puts it over, but all that kind of stuff, you can just tell he's a winner and he will do anything to win.
Yeah. A lot of eyebrows raised. Well, mine were certainly when Sonny Lamans came into Manchester United. Came from a team where he's playing in front of 10, 12,000 people. To play for United in front of capacity crowds at Old Trafford and right through the Premier League. I say he's only played 5 times so far in the Premier League, being widely praised. Now, are we premature with that praise? Is it over the top, or has it been merited by what you've seen him do so far?
Yeah, it's been merited, in fairness. It really has. You've got to give him praise because it's such a hard gig. That Man United job is such a hard gig. And there's no surprise as well that since he came in, the team looks so much more composed.
Why is it so hard, Ben?
The pressure involved in it, the experiences that Man United have had with goalkeepers, the history of goalkeepers, Edwin van der Sar, your Peter Schmeichels, the best goalkeepers in the world at that times, and they're big boots to fill. They really are. Like I say, I tried it myself and I could not fill them boots. They're tough old boots to fill. And I think Sonny Lamans coming in at this moment in time when he did was probably the perfect fit for him, because they were having a tough time with Onana, they were having a tough time with Bayern, and they just needed somebody to come in and hopefully be settled, nice and calm, breed confidence for the rest of the team. And not only him, but the rest of the team as well. They found a bit more of a formation that works. They found a settled starting lineup that works. And when you've got that just gets everybody onto the right foot. But I've got to say, from watching him firsthand, he looks very calm, very composed. He's very willing to come for balls, for high crosses into the goal. And not just your run-of-the-mill ones where he should be able to come and happily take. He's on the front foot taking them as well. And that's the bit for me, because that involves a bit of bravery as well. And to have that bravery when you've got hundreds of millions of Man United fans watching, it's a good thing to have. It really is.
Yeah. What was it like to make your first appearance at Old Trafford?
Oh, I was so nervous, Jeff. My first appearance at Old Trafford was actually for the England national team, actually. I was on loan at Watford, and when I made my England debut, Wembley was still being built, so we played at Old Trafford against Spain, lost 1-0. That was a nervy affair, don't get me wrong, but my Man United debut, home to Birmingham City, we won 1-0, played actually really well, to be fair. But yeah, I just remember going into games with Manchester United just thinking, don't mess up, just don't mess up. But it's the worst thing to do, honestly, it's the worst thing to do, Jeff. You've got to go in thinking, I'm going to help everybody today. I'm going to be the hero.
How old were you then?
I'm going to say 26, maybe 25-ish, maybe 24, okay. 25. But yeah, it probably the wrong club at the wrong time for me. I think later on in my career, I learned to deal with all that sort of pressure and just playing first team football. But at that moment in time, it was just sort of big, bright eyes everywhere, and just thinking, oh my gosh, this is Man United. I shouldn't be here.
Because Sonny Lamans is a very young man still. And he's passed one test, hasn't he? But there are going to be tests to come.
Oh, yeah.
At the time when he makes his first mistake, for example.
Yeah, that will be the acid test as well. But all you can do is base it on what he's done so far, and he just looks so calm and composed with it. And I think that, first and foremost, is the biggest battle. He's obviously a good goalkeeper, and there are going to be tougher times to come, but passing this first test is the most important one.
Jack has texted, he says, Martinez is nowhere near Alisson. I can think of multiple Martinez mistakes. I can't think of any goals where I think Alisson could have done better. I'm sure you've got your own opinions, and we'd love to hear them. I'm going to throw another name out there, which I'm not saying will be in the top 5, but I think has done brilliantly well for the last season, 2 seasons, and that's Bert Verbruggen at Brighton.
Totally agree. Yeah.
He's 23 years old.
There's so many more I could have mentioned as well. Vicario at Spurs done really well for the last couple of years. Bart Verbruggen, I think the Premier League at this moment in time, because the people over the last couple of years, Jamie Carragher said something, didn't he? The standard of goalkeeping has dipped, and this season and off the back of last season, I think it's really stepped up again. I really do.
Okay, so Emi Martinez, number 1 goalkeeper in the Premier League as far as Ben Foster is concerned. If you agree or disagree, do let us know. 03717223344 is the number to ring. Right, still to come on Breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
Scotland fans, how are you feeling this morning? Win tonight against Denmark. You're World Cup bound. Failed to win. It's the playoffs. Hampden's going to be rocking. Of course, that can be a good thing when it's going well for the Hampden crowd. Not such a good thing necessarily if it's not going well. From Steve Clarke's point of view, we are absolutely rooting for it to be going well this evening. Again, 03717 223344. Give us a call. Let us know how you're feeling. We'll be building up all morning to a huge night for Scotland and indeed for Wales as well. England fans, surely you want to see Scotland at the World Cup? Surely. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
Morning, it is 6:51, Tuesday morning, November the 18th. Viva Las Vegas. Of course, you were on that trip to Vegas, weren't you, with Wrexham boys?
I was. Hard work it was, Jeff.
Was it?
Oh, it was hard work. I had to have a night off one night.
All right, so funnily enough, we got a question from Chris who says, morning guys, excellent show. Had a question for Ben. What does recovery look like for a goalkeeper? But I don't think he was thinking of that.
No, that's a different recovery. That is, yeah, completely different recovery. That.
Yeah. Can you tell us anything about it? Was it?
It was just everything was paid for, everything was organised, and it was the best of the best. It was pool parties all day, and then get back, get changed, straight down for dinner, and then you've got a nightclub booked, and it was just relentless, Jeff. It was relentless.
So look, if that has whetted your appetite, if you want a party like Ben Foster, listen up, as talkSPORT and our mates at Virgin Atlantic are giving you the chance to win a trip for two to Vegas. You'll kick things off in style with access to the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse at Heathrow. Then you'll fly upper class with the live flat beds, premium service, bubbly, of course, on demand. And once you touch down, you'll check into a spa villa for 4 nights. Cheer from the stands as the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're throwing in £5,000 cash to play with while you're there. So clear your calendar. January the 2nd to the 7th. Those are the dates, because this could be the best start ever to a new year. Good luck.
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Yeah, the very, very best of luck to you. What a start to the new year that would be. Right, Sam is back with us. Hi again, Sam.
Hiya, yeah. We're going to chat a little bit about Nottingham Forest midfielder Elliot Anderson after interest from Manchester United. And basically, Nottingham Forest have slapped an £100 million price tag on the 23-year-old England international midfielder. Of course, he played in 6 of the 9 England games, started in 5, performed really well. And if he does go for that amount of money, that would see him mirror Declan Rice and Jack Grealish. So I was just wondering, where do you think he stacks up against the likes of those players? And is it worth it for that price, 100 mil for Elliot Anderson?
Does it, Jeff? Doesn't surprise in this modern day. Does not surprise one little bit. He's a very, very good player. He's a very good player. He's just reliable. He's so reliable. He's absolute quality all over the pitch. Work rate is phenomenal. He looks like a really good lad as well. I think whoever signs him, if they did go and sign him, Forest wouldn't want to get rid, by the way. They would not want to lose him. But if anybody did go and sign him, I'd say it's about as sure a bet as what you could get by signing a player, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is that it's usually goal scorers who go for the really big bucks, isn't it? Now, he's capable of getting a goal or two, but you know, I think it's a big price tag, and Forest's price tag is clearly to put people off because they don't want to sell at the moment. But he's had an absolutely fantastic couple of years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's quality, and 23 as well. He's so young. I mean, should he be in a rush to leave Forest when the likes of Man United come knocking and big clubs?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. Forest fans would definitely say no, but if there's a couple, 3 in for him in the summer, you can't blame him for wanting to go to, and again, no disrespect to Nottingham Forest, massive football team, but when you're talking about some of these big European teams, then the question's got to be asked. And
if he has a great World Cup,
I know
that £100 million might not seem so much after all. You know? It's interesting. I saw that there's a lot of stuff in the papers this morning about Anton Semenyo as well, having a £65 million release clause with sort of season and a bit that he's had. You'd think there'll be a few around want to bite his
65 is a snip as well. For him, it's an absolute snip. He is an absolute player as well. Talking about everything I just said about Elliot Anderson, same sort of thing. Work rate, seems like a really good lad. Scoring goals, assists, team player. There'll be a lot of teams sniffing him. Bournemouth, I'm pretty sure they'd be braced to be losing him, I reckon.
Yeah.
I tell you who I feel sorry for, Newcastle fans. After losing Anderson 35 mil to Forest, and of course they had to sell him, didn't they, for PSR and avoiding that points deduction. You've got to be sat there just so frustrated. And of course, with that contract, apparently there's no buyback clause or anything around that to get him back. I mean, you could be just.
Do you think that's a bit sloppy from Newcastle? Not having that inserted?
I think it's a difficult one because it sounded like they're obviously in a rush that they had to get rid of him. So it puts them almost in a weaker position if Forest were the only team willing to pay that amount for him. I don't know, but it could be an oversight on their behalf.
I wouldn't feel too sorry for them. They're in the Champions League after all. You know, there's some great times at St James's Park.
Aren't they the
Premier
richest
League
club?
season not had the greatest start, but you know.
But to lose on homegrown talent And he's obviously flourishing, but
it's hard, you know.
And he could have been yours.
These PSR rules, aren't they? Need to get rid.
And that's the massive problem as far as everybody knows. That's the massive problem as far as Newcastle are concerned. You know, I mean, so much money, but can't spend it. So, which, you know, it's going to be what Anthony Joshua finds in a few weeks' time, isn't it? So,
quite a nice problem to have, that.
Yeah. Never had that. I got a question, actually, while we're just chatting away. Andy said, this is for you, Ben. Can you ask Ben, and you've seen this, Sam, in football as well, you ask Ben why goalkeepers don't catch the ball anymore? It's a really good point, because you see so many people punching when it looks easier to catch.
Right, so these balls actually move quite a bit, you know. So they look like they're flying true, but they don't. They've got a little wobble on them. So they changed ball in the summer from Nike balls over to Puma. And apparently by every goal, from every goalie I've spoke to so far, they move more than what the Nike balls do. And I'd say to the layman watching, they might not see that subtle little movement. But from a goalkeeper, when the ball's flying at you at 80 mile an hour, you can really see it moving a bit. And to avoid any kind of element of doubt that you might not get your handling perfect, sometimes it's just safer to punch the thing or just get as big a surface on it as possible and get it away from danger. But I do agree. I think in years gone by, goalkeepers have probably started to not want to take the risk of catching it as much as what they used to do.
Yeah, the art of catching seems to be a dying art, that's for sure. You know, earlier on we were all saying we wish Scotland and Wales well this evening. Tom has texted and he said, I'm English, not Scottish or Welsh. I sincerely hope they both get stuffed 4-0 and lose their qualifiers. Thanks, Tom. Sam, thanks very much.
Thanks very much, guys.
Coming up after England breeze through the qualification phases, we find out how the other big players are shaping up ahead of the World Cup. That's next.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pitodry on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ben Foster and Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed on the way for you this morning. We'll get more on the confirmation of that controversial heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and the YouTuber Jake Paul. Spencer Oliver will be running the rule over that shortly, and Derek Chisora a little bit later. The Ashes start this week. We'll find out just how confident England should be of finally winning a test down under with former batsman Mark Butcher. I say finally, because they haven't won any of the last 15 tests in Australia. Plus, we're taking your calls, Scotland fans, 03717 22 33 Come on and let us know what you hope for from your team tonight. Put Tom in his place, who says he wants you to get stuffed 4-0. So come on, have your say, won't you? Chris has texted in, by the way, made an interesting point. He says, I miss those eccentric goalkeepers. He said 3 spring to mind. Fred Barber used to come out in an old man mask, but like I do now. Gabor Kirai in his grey training bottoms, and John Budgie Burridge and his acrobatic warm-up before kick-off. And I think he's right, isn't he, Ben? There aren't really any eccentric keepers around now.
No, there aren't. I haven't thought about this before, but you are completely right. It's not a done thing anymore, is it?
Yeah.
It was. I agree, though. The old school madmen who you knew you were going to get a bit of fun of games from.
Yeah.
Just don't exist
Because we
anymore.
always said, didn't you have to be mad to be a goalkeeper?
We're the normal ones, Jeff. Honestly, it's the outfield players that are the problem.
Right. Let's look ahead now to World Cup qualification. We're going to concentrate on some of the sides who might make an impact in the USA. Let's talk to somebody who knows all about it now. Joining us, our European football expert, Kevin Hatchard. Morning, Kev.
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Good. Look, a couple of big results last night. Let's start with them, shall we, first of all? I mean, Germany went into their last game against Slovakia level on points. Could have, been dumped into the playoffs, but 4-0 up at half-time. 6-0 winners. Couple of assists for Florian Wirtz as well. Sounds like the ideal performance from Nagelsmann's side.
Yeah, just what they needed when they needed it, because it had been a really disappointing qualifying campaign. They'd been very poor in the away game at Slovakia. It was the first time they'd ever lost a World Cup qualifier away from home, beaten 2-0. But last night they were excellent. And Florian Wirtz, as you mentioned, was picking up pockets of space, lovely passing range. The pass for Sané for Sané's first goal was outstanding. Just a kind of lofted pass from a kind of central area over the top, perfectly weighted, and then a great cross for his second goal. So great performance from him and a real boost for Nagelsmann. But the caveat would be they haven't been playing well, and so they need to somehow find the right balance between attack and defence and somehow find a bit of consistency.
Yeah. The other eye-catching result last night was the Dutch. Look, you'd have expected them to win. I looked at the Dutch side last night, Kev, Van Dijk, De Ligt, Reinders, Xavi Simons, Gakpo, Marlon, Timber, Verbruggen. Van der Ven and Gravenberch were starting on the bench. So, and Ronald Koeman obviously in charge as well. Is this a re-emerging Dutch side, or should we not be fooled by the results in qualification?
I think the raw material's there. The players that you've reeled off, there are so many that we see so often in the Premier League. Mickey van der Ven plays at left-back sometimes, so it shows you the kind of strength and depth they've got at centre-back. So they've got real quality there. Gravenberch has become one of the best defensive midfielders around, so that gives them a real boost. They've got Frenkie de Jong in there as well, so they've got a really good spine to the team. Still got Memphis scoring goals for them. And so, yeah, I think they are an exciting team. And Ronald Koeman is a very experienced coach. It didn't work out for him at Barcelona, but he's not alone in that, to be fair, in the history of Barcelona. So, yeah, I think they've got a chance of maybe springing a surprise.
Morning, Kev. Are Norway a bit of a dark horse, are they, going into this World Cup? Undefeated, won every game, scoring goals for fun.
I think what they are is a potentially really exciting team to watch in the summer, because you look at all of the attacking quality they've got. Obviously, all the focus is on Haaland, rightly so. 16 goals in qualifying. It's just unbelievable. But Alexander Sørloth's played really well alongside him in that attack at times. They've got Strand Larsen as a backup option off the bench. You look at the wingers, Oscar Bob, who's come through at Manchester City, Antonio Nusa, who's a great player, playing for Leipzig in the Bundesliga. Martin Ødegaard, we know about his quality. It's just going to be whether they can be solid enough defensively. That's the issue. But you look at these qualifiers, they have smashed Italy twice. And that's really impressive. And they've found a consistency that they haven't had before. And it's the first time they've qualified for the World Cup in the 21st century. It's a really exciting group of players.
Didn't they play two big men up top the other night as well? It was Haaland and Sørloth. That's a proper throwback, isn't it?
Well, that's it. And what you can do with Sørloth is he's a bit of an odd one in the sense that he's a huge guy, but he can pass, he can drift into wide areas, he's quite creative at times, so you can use him in different ways, and that's perfect for Haaland, because Haaland, of course, is, ragdolling defenders left, right and centre, so Sørloth can move into those areas and do some damage. They're really fun to watch.
You mentioned Italy, Kev, which brings us round. Look, it was a desperately bad week for them again. And Gerard Gattuso, the manager's been coming afterwards, and he claims that qualifying is unfair on European sides. He says, in my day, the best runners-up went straight to the World Cup. And, of course, Italy won 6 out of 8. And he's done a bit of finger-pointing, particularly towards, I think, South American sides, where it appears to be, you can lose a lot more games and still qualify. I think Brazil were beaten 6 times in qualification. So has he got a point?
I thought it was really embarrassing what he said, actually, because this is an expanded World Cup. There are plenty of opportunities. There are teams that aren't going to finish in the top 2 in their groups that are still going to have a shot at it through the Nations League placing, and they're going to get a playoff path anyway. So what this is it's distracting from Italy's failures. And I do wonder how Italy have got themselves into a position where Gattuso is the manager, because they've had a bit of a nightmare run because they've failed to qualify for the last 2 World Cups. North Macedonia, who are going to play Wales tonight, knocked them out of one playoff path. And they went out to Sweden in the other. For Italy to not qualify for 3 straight World Cups would be catastrophic for them.
Yeah.
And I just think Gattuso, hasn't been able to get that consistency. They collapsed against Norway. They were competitive for a while, but they collapsed against Norway. The performances haven't been good enough. And so I think he's deflecting, and I think it's nonsense, to be honest.
Yeah, and he doesn't point out that the sides in the South American qualification, 60% of them get through, and a lot less, I think it's 30% in Europe. But the South American sides don't play Israel, Estonia and Moldova, who've been Italy's opponents in that qualifying group, along with Norway. Interesting argument, though. Kev, thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, guys.
Italy thrashed twice by Norway, and I take your point. Norway are going to be interesting to watch. Look, any side with Erling Haaland is interesting to watch.
He's going to cause problems. I'm just really excited for seeing England, though, come up against tougher opposition. Because in all fairness to the teams we've played so far, we should be beating them. But it's when you get an opposition that actually asks questions. Yeah. So Albania the other night, I think, they were decent, Albania, in fairness, and they put under a bit of pressure. Goalie had to make a few saves. But when you're playing teams where it really matters, competition football really matters. You know that if you mess up or you're a bit off it, then you're out the tournament and you're home. That's when you start to see the bigger teams, the bigger nations with the bigger players really step up.
We are always unbeaten in qualifying.
Always.
Okay? Not necessarily with a 100% record. We had a discussion yesterday with Gabby, so just briefly, Ben, in the March internationals, Gabby was wanting us to play a really strong side, maybe in Argentina or something like that. And I felt it was probably better to take a step back from that. What's your view? Would you want to see us up against really strong opposition or somebody that you will probably beat even if they give you a test?
I want stronger opposition, but I still don't think it really does what's needed. It's when you get to the knockout stages, when it really matters, where there's something on the line, that's where you get to see the characters of the players and the big boys really step up, because it means something. And when it's a friendly, you always know in the back of your head that it's not the end of the world if I make a mistake or if we lose the game. So that's the big acid test when you actually get to the major tournament. But I agree with you. I think you need as good a opposition as you possibly can, even if it's a hard-fought draw or you might lose to. Stepping it up a little bit is what you need.
Thanks, Ben, for the moment. A lot of love for you, by the way, out there. George says, just want to say what a joy it is to hear Ben on the radio this morning speak so well. He does say you're not too bad yourself either, Jeff, but, I was just trying to curry favour there, but thank you very much indeed, George. Coming up, Tom, the England fan, who says he wants Scotland and Wales to lose 4-0 tonight, has set everyone off talking this morning, including someone called Shaban, who's going to come along in a moment or two to give Tom a piece of her mind. Good morning, 7:20 it is, Tuesday, November the 18th. Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Foster is with me through until 10 o'clock this morning. And that's right, of course, I'm sure you know, I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here is well underway. I know what you're thinking now. How would Gabby Agbonlahor get on in the jungle? Well, Gabby revealed exactly that yesterday. Take a listen.
And the first thing they do on that plank, high up on the boat, I wouldn't even do it. I say, I'm a celebrity to get me out of here. Sorry, guys.
No, Gabby, you cannot go on there and say, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
I would do it every challenge.
You would?
100%.
You'd say it on every challenge. You'd say, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Isn't that what you have to do?
Yeah, if you don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Snakes.
Guys, we need to get Gabby in the jungle.
No one's eating.
Oh,
okay,
no,
guys.
you'd be the worst sort of campmate,
It's okay,
Gabby.
guys. We don't need to eat.
You'd be like Gillian McKee.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'd love to see Gabby in the jungle. Have you ever considered it? You ever been offered? I mean, there are no, for me this year, there are no footballers, there are no sports people, and that takes something away.
I think I was offered it a couple of years ago, actually, when I first retired. And I was like, no, do you know what? I think that level of fame, right, it's not for me, Jeff. It really isn't. Like, that's a different level of fame. In sport, like, if you walk down the street, you'll get a few people go, oh, like, blah, 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 and they'll say hello or whatever. But this opens you up to the other side of fame, the people that watch telly at night. And I was thinking, nah, that's not for me, that.
Yeah.
I'd have enjoyed it, though.
I mean, it's a success story. I mentioned yesterday, the first king of the jungle was Tony Blackburn.
Oh, yeah.
22 years ago.
No, it was not.
So there have been 22 years. We've had 22 years of sitting at home watching people eat testicles.
Oh, my gosh. In fairness, I do. I remember the Tony Blackburn one.
Yeah.
I really do. And I would have really enjoyed it, actually. And I think I watch it sometimes and I think, I could do this, you know. I'll be all over that. Survival.
Yeah.
I can start fires. I can cook. I'll be all right, you know.
You can start fires?
Yes.
You're not allowed matches.
No. Get a little, what's it called, where you rub the wood on the other bit of wood and that'll do, won't it?
Right. Okay. Look, I mean, I can eat pretty much anything, so I'd be okay with the eating trials and things. But heights, actually, I'm with Gabby, you know.
Testicles, you all right with testicles?
I've never tried them. I would imagine so, you know.
If you'd have said my favourite, then.
Yeah, no, definitely not my favourite. Look, anyway, it's the very early stages. It's going to be, I don't know how many weeks it lasts for, but plenty, that is for sure. And somebody, Johnny, has rightly corrected me and said no footballers. He says Alex Scott, of course, is a former footballer. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Johnny. Just slipped my mind. In fact, I haven't watched it at all so far this year. So, right, time now for a bit of this.
We know we ain't no Argentina, but we got John again, and Robbo out on the wing, no Scotland, no party.
Yeah, Scotland with a chance to automatically qualify for the World Cup tonight, and I was out in Germany having watched Scotland qualify for the Euros, and I have to tell you, I mean, Scotland on the pitch were terrible, let's be brutally honest about it, but their fans were absolutely fantastic on the other hand. But we have had a bit of an English kickback here. Paul has said, morning chaps, great show as usual, but come on, Scotland and the Welsh, you'd think they would want the English to win, but not a chance. So we hope they get thumped. And of course, we had Tom earlier on saying he hopes they both lose 4-0 this evening. So we thought we'd get someone on who might have a word with Tom, and believe you me, when she has a word, she has a word. Shabana Hearn, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ben. How are we?
Yeah, we're good. Have you got anything to say to Tom, who wants you to lose 4-0?
I don't know if I can say it on the radio at this time, but something along the lines of get in the bin, get a life, get a grip of yourself, go brush your teeth, all those kind of things would be absolutely fine. But I mean, come on, lighten up. We bring a wee bit of a good vibe. I heard you and Gabby yesterday talking about Ireland getting there, how great that would be for the fans. I've lined myself up with Scotland and Ireland this year, perfectly hoping that at least one of them get there, and Scotland being at the tournament will only be a good thing, because everyone will have a good time. And you know what was the point in hoping for someone else's failure? That's just projecting, I think.
Do you know whose fault this all is, Shaban? Do you know where it stems from? Andy Murray. Do you remember a few years back when he was
Yes.
talking about England? He said, I don't want them to qualify. I don't want them to, I'm Scottish. I just want Scott. That's where it stems from. I promise you. Everybody remembers this, all right? And it's coming back to bite him in the bum, it is.
Do you know what? You're probably right about that, Ben. I remember those quotes at the time. The only thing is that I feel that we're kind of getting to this stage in life or this stage in football where you're not allowed to have a rivalry anymore, where no one's allowed to hope that someone loses, otherwise you're like the worst person ever. Don't get me wrong. I remember last time that England made it to the final, you're sitting there going, oh my God, I'm not going to hear the end of this if England win this. But I think I'm at that stage now where I'm like, you've just got to hope that people do their best, hope the best for people, because that'll bring you good karma. And maybe that's why Scotland are where we are now.
Yeah,
We've had more lives than a cat, Jeff.
But Shaban, remember when England reached the finals of Euro 2020 in Scotland, there were Italian flags everywhere.
Yeah. Good fun, though. It's fun when it's you guys.
It is good fun. Look, I tell you what, if Steve Clarke manages to take this squad to the World Cup finals, having already got them to the Euros, he's going to go down Scottish football folklore, isn't he?
Yeah, and do you know what, Jeff? Up the road, he does divide the fan base.
Yeah.
You know, some people are not for Steve Clarke. Some people are wishing they'd made changes, you know, after Euros the last time. He's a good man. He's done a lot for this team. He's done a lot for our country. He's certainly brought me memories from going to the Euros, the ones that I couldn't really remember when I was 7, you know, from the last time they went to the World Cup. So it's a big, big change. And the fact that tonight it's in our hands, Denmark have managed to drop points to Belarus, and we're at Hampden. I think if we can make Hampden roar and make Denmark shake, the fact that we'd be at a World Cup would be absolutely incredible. And a lot of that is not only down to the talented players we've got at the minute, but it's down to Steve Clarke. So we've got to give him his flowers for that.
Shaban, what do you make of the goalkeeping situation? Obviously, Craig Gordon started the last game, 42 years old, but he's not playing for Hearts at the moment, is he?
Yeah. I've heard a lot of the players talking about this, just as how much as an infectious guy he is in the dressing room, how much he feels part of the team. We're in the situation that we're in at the moment, Ben. I mean, it's an unusual one, but he did all right. You know, he's done all right. He's done the best that he can do, and tonight's a huge part of pride. It'll be history for him, you know, if it's to happen. It's a great story in itself, you know, if it all goes to plan. So everything crossed for them. You know, I've just got nothing but good energy. The result the other night was so disappointing. You know, so disappointing. You think, guys, come on. Like, Greece can't even qualify. How have we allowed ourselves to be in this situation? But tonight at home, it has to be different, and I think it will be.
Shaban, enjoy it.
Guys, let's go. No Scotland, no party. Come on!
Don't forget, Shaban hosts Weekend Breakfast alongside the Republic of Ireland legend Tony Cascarino. More on Scotland, by the way, with Paul Lambert at 8 o'clock this morning. If you want to have your say, 03717 223344 is the number to call. Josh has texted, Jeff, how can you say you're all right with eating anything? You don't like gravy. You know what, Josh, my argument would be is that you drink gravy. You don't eat gravy. But you're absolutely right. Up next, well, they weren't saying testicles with gravy, were they? I think I can guarantee that would not be on the I'm a Celebrity menu. Up next, we turn our attention back to the mess the boxing world is in and ask the question, does this Jake Paul fight affect Anthony Joshua's legacy? We'll discuss that next.
football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Good morning, 7:35. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ben Foster, and our friends at Arnold Clark. Get £750 off any used electric car or home charger. 03717 223344. Let's head to the phone lines. England fans, are you supporting Scotland and Wales tonight? Shaban said you should be. Let's speak to Sarah, who's an England fan. Morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you. Great show as always.
Thank you. So, are you supporting Scotland and Wales tonight?
No, I'm afraid I'm not. I lived in Glasgow for 15 years before moving back to Yorkshire, and I can tell you it was way before the Andy Murray comment. Every year, whatever the club, whatever the team was that was playing against England, the shirts would be sold out at the sports shops. The ABE, anyone but England T-shirts would be sold out. If you went into a bar, for example, I was in a bar once and there was calls for, if you hate the bleep English, clap your hands. George Square was full of it. And it's every year, and I have never been so patriotic to my country than those 15 years I lived in Glasgow.
I love it, Sarah. I love it. I really do.
One thing I would say, Sarah, is that Scottish fans, when they're there, honestly, they add to the occasion. Thank you very much indeed, Sarah. And I say that from experience, because I was in Munich when they were out there, and there was a wonderful moment in before the first match, in actual fact, before the disappointment of what happened on the field. We're in the main square in Munich. A couple of bars were completely surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of Scottish fans, and I could hear Flower of Scotland being played on the pipes. So I said to my producer at the time, I said, get your camera out, get your camera out. And I pushed through the crowd, and as Flower of Scotland was being played, I jumped in there and started to chant, England, England, England.
Oh,
and for a moment or two, there were just one or two filthy looks and a little silence. And I thought, what have I done here? And then somebody said, it's Jeff Stelling, lads. And suddenly the party started, you know?
If you wasn't Jeff Stelling, you'd have been in problem.
Oh!
You'd have been in a massive problem, I promise you.
Yeah. Well, look, if I wasn't Jeff Stelling, I wouldn't have gone. That sounds terribly arrogant, doesn't it? But I wouldn't have jumped in there shouting England, 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 unless I had a sort of death wish. Let's take one more call. Pete's an Everton fan. Morning, Pete.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, Pete. What do you think? Are you supporting Scotland and Wales tonight?
Definitely Scotland, because when I was a teenager, in 74 I was 13, and in 78 I was 17. England were that rubbish, we failed to qualify on two separate consecutive occasions, and the only British team to watch was Scotland, and I quite enjoyed it. And in 78, Archie Gemmill scored the goal of the tournament against Holland. And I did support Scotland then.
Yeah, so you'll be shouting for them tonight?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to win tonight, definitely.
Good.
Any British team.
Ah, fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, Pete.
Cheers.
I remember that Archie Gemmill goal. Old enough to remember it. Didn't do them any good at the time. It was a pretty disastrous tournament, to say the least. But that goal stands out in the memories. Stuart says, morning, boys. Tom has got it completely wrong. Tom started all this. Tom has got it completely wrong. If I'm going to spend 90 minutes of my life watching Scotland, I want to see more than 4 goals. Today is National Love Denmark Day. Oh. Bacon sarnies and Danish pastries for breakfast for me. Thank you, Stuart.
I've got to say, I agreed with Pete then, actually, last caller. Think about it. If we get to the World Cup, and we've got all the home nations are there, Ireland are there, and Wales, Scotland, and the games on the telly, I would rather watch a Wales game or an Ireland or Scotland game ahead of some of the other European nations. I really would. I'm not saying I'm going to be rooting for them to win, but I want to see them there. There's people that I know that would probably be there as well, and that's it. I just think getting into the spirit of it all a little bit.
Yeah, completely agree. Now, the boxing world is in disarray after this was announced yesterday.
What fitness, what heart from Klitschko, but the fight has been stopped! Lift off for AJ!
I always take every fight seriously.
Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Jake Paul!
Boxing damages itself left, right and centre, but I think the reputability and the credibility of some of these boxing sanctioning bodies is poor anyway. Jake Paul is going to get demolished.
I remember standing on a football pitch and playing against Steven Gerrard and Paul Scholes, and when I stand there looking at him thinking, right, I'm gonna run all over him today. Within 5 minutes, I realised there's levels to this game.
I think that it's a hopeless and potentially dangerous mismatch.
Yes, Anthony Joshua, former world heavyweight champion, will fight YouTube star Jake Paul next month. Let's get more reaction now in the company of former European bantamweight champion and talkSPORT fight pundit Spencer Oliver. Morning, Spencer.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Look, I was thinking of mismatches. You know, in life in general, whether it be the intellectual battles between Del Boy and Trigger, or Roadrunner against Wile E. Coyote, Sybil against Basil Fawlty, Hartlepool against Darlington. And this is right up there, AJ against Jake Paul. It's a complete mismatch, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you know, if you think about Jake Paul, where he's come from to where he is right now, you know, you go back to 2018, he was having a white-collar fight against KSI's brother. He turned professional in 2020. The only real professional boxing match that he's had, he lost to Tommy Fury. Now he finds himself in with a former two-time world heavyweight champion in Anthony Joshua. It's actually bizarre. It's crazy. I mean, you've got to respect it from Jake Paul. You go, what are you actually thinking here? Do you really believe that you can beat a guy that is still very much at the top of the game, still very much a top 5 heavyweight in Anthony Joshua? I mean, it's bizarre.
Bizarre. Is it dangerous as well as far as Jake Paul's concerned?
Well, you look at look, it's going to be a real professional boxing match. I hear it's... Nick?
Oh!
Nick?
Spencer, where have you gone?
Oh, we've disappeared.
Oh, Spencer, we got you back. Go on, mate.
Oh, good. Yeah, listen, it's going to be a real professional boxing match. But you look at it and you go, is it dangerous? Of course, it's got to be dangerous, isn't it? Because of the comparisons of these two, where they both come from, where they're both currently at. It's it's crazy.
Spencer, what are Anthony Joshua's fellow professionals kind of thinking about this? Are they in the camp of, well, you know, if this opportunity comes along, you've just got to take it. It's as simple as that. Or will it kind of hurt not their feelings, but will they look down on it a little bit?
So if you look at Anthony Joshua, like from his side, you're going, look, Anthony Joshua, the roadmap back for him was, you know, wanting to box for the world heavyweight title again, and that was possibly going to come in the shape and form of Tyson Fury, maybe in the summer. But before that, he wanted to have a warm-up fight. He was talking about December, then going again in February, then this big fight with, hopefully, Tyson Fury, the fight that we've all craved, the fight that we've all wanted to see. And with the world heavyweight titles fragmenting, we've just seen Alexander Usyk has given up the WBO title. Now, you know, Fabio Wardley is now the new WBO champion. And the other titles could fragment as well. So AJ might get his opportunity against someone, but he'd need that warm-up fight. He was going to fight a top 100 fighter, right? This is where he's at. He probably got $1 million for it on the undercard of a fight somewhere, maybe in Saudi Arabia or something of that sort of magnitude. Then all of a sudden he gets this fight presented to him against Jake Paul on Netflix in an 8-round fight, and you look at that and you go, well, why wouldn't you take that for the best part of 50 million quid? It's an easier fight, less risk. AJ's still going to go through the same motions of wrapping his hands up, doing the ring walk, getting in the ring, getting that ring rust off, and more importantly, getting back to winning ways. So it's a no-brainer from AJ's side for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody blames AJ at all. If I was AJ, what I'd be doing would be taking the money and then immediately hanging the gloves up and not having to get in that ring again. Spencer, thanks very much indeed, mate.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Spencer.
And the latest episode of talkSPORT's Daily Podcast is available now. As the head of Queensbury, Frank Warren, heavyweight Dave Allen, talkSPORT's boxing commentator John Rawling, and the Sun's boxing reporter Wally Downs Jr. give their reaction to the news that AJ will be fighting Jake Paul in a professional bout. Right, still to come on Breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find your local branch at travisperkins.co.uk.
It is a monumental night for Wales and Scotland fans of both. The floor is yours. 03717 22 3344. Liam has texted us. He says, I'm supporting Scotland tonight. If they qualify, it's one team worse than England. So win-win for us. Let's hear your opinion. Will you get what you need tonight if you're a Scottish football fan? Scotland know a win over Denmark will qualify them automatically for the World Cup finals. What an achievement. Wales, meanwhile, need to beat North Macedonia, well, to finish second in their quest for a playoff place because, of course, they already have a playoff spot by virtue of their Nations League performances. Also, we want to hear from England fans. Do you want our fellow home nations to get their required results? Simon Jordan isn't bothered.
Could not care less. Don't want them to do badly, but could not give a monkeys whether Scotland win a game, get out of the group, qualify, get beat 6-0, or win a game. Couldn't care less.
Now, that was a look ahead. All thanks to Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Bricks on bricks on bricks. Over 40 million available to order with delivery to site. That's one less thing to worry about.
Good morning, 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Busy says, just switched on, and that's not McCoist. No, it isn't. I don't know where he is. Of course, a couple of people usually come to the jungle late on. Could he? I mean, he was linked with it last year. Could he? No idea. We'll find out, won't we, over the next few days. So Ben Foster is with me here until 8 o'clock. And Freddie says, can we have Ben on more often? Well, if Coisty's in the jungle, the answer to that would probably be yes, I would think.
Yeah, we can do.
Liam says, lads, Timu Pukki retired from international duties yesterday. Such an underrated striker. Congratulations to him. And thanks to Liam, because obviously, Norwich fans will remember him well. Just looked at his record. 43 goals and 133 internationals. Which when you're playing for Finland and you don't get a lorry load of chances, that's not too shabby, is it?
There's a joke in there about Finnish.
Yeah.
Is he Finnish?
Yeah.
He's not Finnish.
Anthony Amy, don't turn the clock back that far. Right, 03717 223344. We're taking your calls this morning. England fans have been calling as to whether they are supporting Scotland and Wales tonight. Kurt is a Villa fan, so I'm assuming he'll be supporting John McGinn. Morning, Kurt.
Morning, boys.
So will you be back in John McGinn tonight then? Be shouting for Scotland?
I hope he scores, but I'll be cheering on Denmark.
Don't you want to watch Scotland? Wouldn't you rather watch England playing against Scotland or Wales or Ireland in the World Cup rather than watching England play against Denmark or some other European nation?
Well, it would be an easy win. It would be funny.
Yeah. Look, I would love to see John McGinn in a World Cup finals. Come on, as a Villa fan, in your heart of heart, Kurt, you have to hope so.
It would be great, but Rasmus Højlund, I think, tonight. Come on, Denmark.
Kurt, thanks very much indeed. I think Rasmus Højlund was one of those affected by a sickness bug at the weekend, and speculation he may not make it this evening either. Now, the Ashes underway. It's just 3 days away in actual fact from that first test in Perth this Friday. Strap yourself in for what's going to be a fantastic series. How will Bazball shape up? Lots of questions. How have England prepared? And how will the Aussies do? We have a couple of their star bowlers. No Josh Hazlewood, and of course, no Cummins either. A lot of questions to be answered then as we build up to Friday. Let's say a very good morning to former England Test captain Mark Butcher. Morning, Mark.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ben. Good to see you.
Good to see you, mate.
Hey, Mark, I'm just thinking a lot of English cricket fans will be thinking, no Cummins, no Hazlewood. This will be easy, but it never is in Australia, is it?
But yeah, it won't be easy, but my goodness, have they got a great chance. It's been a pretty barren hunting ground since 2010, 2011. Australia, we haven't won a test match, let alone a series down there since then. But I think there's a feeling that England, under Ben Stokes, with the bowling attack that they have at their disposal, and of course, as you mentioned, the lack of those two bowlers, great bowlers for Australia, this is the best chance England have had in a very long time.
I mean, do they go in all guns blazing then, Mark? Do they go in with an all-pace attack in Perth? Sounds like it's the right sort of track.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance they will. And they might, what they might do is play somebody like Will Jacks, who bowls off spin and is obviously a very dangerous ball striker. They might slot him in sort of down there at number 8. Stokes is obviously bowling brilliantly and batting at 6. And then you have the three quicks in, which will probably be, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. And also, I think that the quality of England's fast bowling stocks, in comparison to previous years, means that whichever way you kind of you mix them up, it's gonna be a pretty potent attack. So probably be Archer, Atkinson, and my personal preference for the third one would be Josh Tongue, because of his incredible ability to knock the tail over if you happen to get early wickets with the new ball. So that's the way I would line it up. England might see it completely differently. Obviously they're out there and they know who's firing on all cylinders. Mark Wood, I would probably hesitate to throw into the fray in the first Test match, given his complete lack of cricket leading up to it, having been injured all summer, and the hamstring that's given him a bit of problems in the run up to this first Test.
Mark, the Australians have been winding the English up in the media. I'm looking at the back page.
What's new?
What's new? Yeah, I'm looking at the back page of the West Australian, obviously their national news, and it's a picture of the green monster, they call it, which is England's worst nightmare. Are we a little bit in their heads here, or do they just hate us and Bazball?
Yeah, there's a mixture of all of those things. I think that Australia going into the series with their first choice team would be very much favourites and very, very confident. But I think the lack of Cummins, the lack of Hazelwood, albeit that their replacements in Michael Nisa and Ben Doggett are very good. I don't know. It might be one or two of those. Boland comes in anyway. Just gives them a little bit of cause for jitters. And I also think that this pitch in Perth might make the game very quick. You know, it could accelerate the speed of the game. So you could be looking at a 3.5 day test match, which kind of plays into England's hands, I think. I think that type of cricket England are very good at. The longer haul, going sort of 5 days, having to bat long periods of time is the part where they're not quite so strong. So I think there'll be a few nerves for Australia. Don't get me wrong. I think that the Australians will feel, given history and given England's record, even in sort of recent times in big series, you know, they didn't beat India at home, they didn't beat Australia at home in the Ashes in 2023. That they haven't won a massive amount of series in the last 2 or 3, or since the last Ashes. I think they've only beaten Sri Lanka and the West Indies both at home, and the rest maybe they've drawn or lost. So England's, even though they played some wonderful cricket and some sort of memorable cricket, they haven't exactly been burning the house down when it comes to winning stuff. So Australia will still feel very confident, but I think that they're a little bit more nervous than they might have been.
I mean, despite all that, I was reading Nasser Hussain saying this week that this is the series, Australia in Australia, that will define Ben Stokes, Brendan McCullum and Bazball. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been, where did it start? 2022. And at the very beginning, they sort of came out of the blocks incredibly hard and tried to score runs at ridiculous rates, 5-6 runs and over, and all that kind of stuff. It's just been tempered a little bit in the last couple of years as the team has matured and players have become sort of more in tune with sort of the rhythms of Test match cricket, which obviously can speed up at times, but more often than not, you have to be a little bit on the conservative side. But as I've said, the results in terms of series wins, I mean, we're lying sixth in the World Test Championship, which is poor in all honesty, even though it's only at the very beginning. And so, look, all roads seem to have been leading to this point. A player like Zach Crawley has played 50-odd Test matches, and no matter the ups and downs of his form, he's been backed with a view to the fact that they think that his game is very, very suited to scoring big runs in Australia. So all of these things are kind of like that they've put their stall on this series. If this crashes and burns, then obviously the doubters and the people that have been concerned about the lack of I say conservative is probably the wrong word, but the lack of sort of measured approach has been something that is costing them in terms of winning Test match series. And it'll be very difficult for them to justify that if this one goes south. However, I don't think it's going to. I mean, in the past, if you'd asked me, about an Ashes series, was I excited about it? What do I rate England's chances at? I'd be mumbling into my sleeve. But on this occasion, I don't know what's going to happen. Don't ask me what I think the result is going to be, but I'm genuinely excited about the prospect of a fabulous series, and England have the possibility and the skill in their squad to do something quite special.
That's my final question.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not answering it, Ben. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting
Who's favourites, Mark? Who's favourites?
Well, Australia are the home team, and they lose so seldom at home that it's it's not funny. But England really do have the skill and the approach and the leadership in Stokes to do something very unexpected. And for that reason, a 2:30 alarm call on Friday morning is not going to be a problem.
Can't wait for it, Mark. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries.
It's going to be an intriguing series, isn't it? And that is for sure. Just a quick text from Danny, who's an Englishman, said, on my way to work in the car, can you tell Jeff as a Leeds fan, I always like to keep an eye on Wales with Rodon, Ampadu, Darlow and Dan James in the side. Absolutely, you look out for your club's players when they're playing international football. I was surprised when Kurt said he wanted John McGinn to score, but be on the losing side tonight. Coming up, we find out exactly what it was like playing for Scotland at the last World Cup with Paul Lambert. The last World Cup they qualified for, that is, with Paul Lambert ahead of that huge game against Denmark tonight.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager, Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got £5,000 for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Good morning, 6 minutes past 8 o'clock, Tuesday, November the 18th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ben Foster and Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed on the way for you this morning. We'll ask the former Wales striker Rob Earnshaw whether Craig Bellamy's Wales can overcome North Macedonia this evening and make the World Cup playoffs tonight. Of course, the second place finish would mean that if they do make those playoffs, they will play at home in the semi-finals. You can give us a call this morning, 03717 223344, whether you're Welsh, Scottish or English. What do you hope happens tonight? Surely as Brits, we all want each other to succeed. Well, maybe not, because Reese has just texted and said, morning Jeff and Ben, the question is, would the Scottish and the Welsh want England to win tonight to qualify? I think not. Come on, Denmark and North Macedonia. On that note, let's start the hour with a bit of this.
We're going to the Argentine, and we'll really shake them up when we win the World Cup, 'cause Scotland are the greatest football team.
So Steve Clarke hoping to lead Scotland to the World Cup finals. And of course, you played under Steve Clarke at West Brom.
I did, yeah.
What was he like? Because he comes over as quite a quiet guy.
That's what he's like. That's exactly what he's like. Very calm, very composed. Not necessarily a shouter or screamer. If it needed be, he would. He'd get involved and tell people what he thinks. But he is very, very driven by his own thoughts and what he wants to do. And he won't waver from it either. So if he's got a plan, he's sticking to the plan. He won't change any last minutes or anything silly like that. But good manager as well, good guy, and I actually really enjoy playing for him.
Yeah. How do you feel he's done as... This is a daft question, really. How do you feel he's done as Scotland manager?
Brilliant. To get to this point where they're on the brink, the first time in, 20, whatever it is, 20 odd years, 25 odd years, it's some achievement for Scotland. And not even that, just how he's done in general. I just think how he carries himself, what he's done for this Scottish national team. He's, he should be very proud of himself.
Yeah. Well, joining us now is a man who played for Scotland at the 1998 World Cup. It's a very good morning to Paul Lambert. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Jeff.
So here we are, Paul, on the very brink then at the moment. But tonight, obviously, it makes it more straightforward, doesn't it? Scotland know exactly what they've got to do, but they can't defend the way they did against Greece, can they?
No, I think the big thing, they have to control the emotion of the game. Yeah. I think if the lads do that and don't get carried away with the crowd, then they've got a chance. They say that you can never win the game in the first minute, but you can certainly lose it. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want Denmark to get a foothold in the game, but you have to play with your head. I think defensively, yeah, definitely have to probably tighten up in a lot of aspects of it and make tactical fouls. If somebody's going through, bring them down. I think that's nature of the beast, really. But at Hampden, you just hope the lads play with their heads and not with their hearts. If they do that, then they've got a great chance of going through.
Paul, what do you expect from the crowd tonight? Because say you don't get off to a great start, say Denmark dominate the ball, what will the fans be thinking?
Listen, Ben, you know, you've played in the game. The crowd will only go against them if they don't see the effort. If they see the effort getting put in, they'll go with them. But if they see they're off it, which I don't think the lads will be, but you don't want that edginess to come into the game where you need your big players to get a foothold of the game, really, and get a hold of the ball for you to calm it down. But the crowd will go with you if you're certainly at it.
I mean, if you look at the Scotland squad now, you look at probably starting 11. One thing they do have, and maybe some Scotland teams in the past haven't, they've got experience at a very high level. You know, a lot of them are playing for top European sides now.
That's the difference, Jeff. That's certainly the difference. Is if you've got lads that are playing in front of big crowds and big pressure games. I'm not saying international football is easy, because no game of football is kind of easy. So it's when you play in that environment week in, week out, and you get the feeling of you have to win every game. I think that's the difference between the last 10, 15 years that the national lads now are playing with big clubs.
Talking of experience, Paul, Craig Gordon in goal. Now, before the last game, it was a kind of, I didn't know whether it was a toss-up between him and Liam Kelly, but obviously both goalkeepers not playing. Did you always think or assume that it was going to be Craig that got the nod?
I think just on what he'd done for Stevie before, Ben, I think probably gave him the nod over it. I think he had a good game against Greece. I think the third one he's got to save it. It's went through his hands, and I think he's on admission he's got to save it, but he also made some great saves. So for somebody that's not played many minutes, or I don't think he has played any minutes with Hearts, I think he's done ever so well, and I think Stevie will stick by him. And I don't think the team will change too much for what it was against Greece.
What's the feeling like to qualify for a World Cup finals as a Scot then, Paul?
It'll be mayhem if we do it. It'll be. Do you know what? It's a little bit unfortunate I'm not in Glasgow, because I'd have went to the game and if we'd done it, it'd have been Glasgow. It'll be dry. It'll be dry by the time 6 o'clock in the morning happens if we do it. It'll be brilliant, and it'll be great for the fans to go over. I was part of the last World Cup, and it's too long. It's 28 years, I think it is. It's far too long. So hopefully the guys can get it done.
Yeah. You feeling confident? I mean, we hear stories coming out of the Danish camp that maybe there's some sort of sickness bug there. One or two of their key players might miss the game. But I looked at their results, and it strikes me that they tend to be better away from home than they are at home when they've got to force the issue.
I was just about to say that. I think they're a better team away from home, where maybe their crowd is driving them on at home, and they kind of have a bit of stage fright at times. But away from home, I think they're a good side. It's going to be a danger, because they can sit and play counter-attack against us, and they can sit and wait, knowing that a draw is good enough for them. So that's where we have to be defensively quite cute. And as I said before, if somebody's going through, bring them down and make the tactical foul, and then if that happens, then your next mate comes in and does the next one. So I think they have to play with their heads, and if they do that, then we've got a great chance.
Paul, we've been listening to English fans calling all morning, wanting Scotland to lose. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, and it was England that needed to win tonight, where would you sit on that?
100%. There's no way we wanted England to win. 100%. That's going to. I'm not going to hide my colours here, and neither are you or Jeff. So I would listen. If you find a Scotsman that wants England to qualify, you do really well. If I find an Englishman that wants Scotland to go through, then I'll call it even. But in this moment, I'm pretty sure most of England will want us to get knocked out or qualify to second place. You know.
Well, look. Thanks for joining us, Paul. I have to tell you, hand on heart, I want Scotland to, as an Englishman, I want Scotland to win tonight.
Same as you, Jeff. Same as you.
So, fingers crossed anyway. Cheers, Paul. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Cheers.
03717 22 33 44. If you want to have your say, come on, England fans. Surely you must want Scotland to win. I mean, Scotland may well have players who play for your club in their starting lineup this evening. Surely you want them to win. And the same applies to Wales, by the way, as well. Coming up with Gabby Agbonlahor heading to do a show at Birmingham City's training ground alongside me, by the way, on Thursday. We'll get Ben Foster with some words of warning next on what Gabby can expect.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong?
What a tune that was. Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Foster is with me today. On Thursday, then, make sure you tune in to Breakfast with myself and Gabby Agbonlahor, hosting live from the Birmingham City training ground. We'll be joined by some great guests. Birmingham's Jay Stansfield, the manager Chris Davis will be with us as well. Former England keeper Joe Hart will be joining us, as well as the former Wales and Arsenal midfielder Aaron Ramsey. And Gabby's planning a bit of mischief as well in what he is calling the Gabotage. Look, he's stepping into enemy territory, isn't he, Ben?
You've got to be careful, mate. It's it's a dangerous place to go, that is, mate. I hope all the Blues fans turn out and tell him what they think.
Well, what do they think of him?
I'm pretty sure that he's not very well respected in the Birmingham community.
Really?
Mate. The Zulus do not look fondly on Gabby Agbonlahor, unfortunately. The way he carries on, though, and talks about him and stuff, he's fully, he's deserving of this hate as well, I think.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
If it was you were asked to do a show from the Villa training ground, what would you say?
I'd get on slightly better. I don't think I'd be welcome with open arms, but I've played for the opposition, so I've played for West Brom and Birmingham, so I'm not going to go down very well there at Villa.
Yeah, but you're not quite as divisive as Gabby can be.
I sit on the fence a lot more than what Gabby would do.
Yeah, Gabby, you need your hard hat on, mate. I just hope if they start throwing things at you, that their aim is good and they don't hit me instead. I mean, that's what I'm worried about. Right, let's get the latest odds now with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
John, you looking forward to that FA Trophy game at Leamington?
Yes, well, funny enough, we played it last year, Jeff, and won that game. So I'm hoping we can repeat that one. And look, great competition, isn't it? The FA Trophy for the non-league teams. Chance to get to Wembley, chance to win some silverware, which, of course, Rochdale's never done before. So we'll be taking it seriously, but with an eye on the league. That's the priorities, Jeff, to try and get out of this league, which, as you well know, tough to get out of, isn't it? With this free-up campaign, we need that third promotion place, don't we, in this National League, just to make the playing field a little bit fairer.
Jeff, Leamington is my hometown. It's where I was born, so unfortunately I'm going to be rooting for that. It's at the Windmill as well, is it, yeah?
It is, that's right, yes, absolutely. Interesting, I didn't know that, Ben.
The Windmill? That was the theatre, wasn't it, where scantily clad women used to dance?
Oh, I don't know about that. It's called the new Windmill. This one's the new Windmill. Yeah, the new Windmill.
Yeah.
We've got a team. I swear to you, I've never heard of them, and I don't mean any disrespect. Ansty Nomads. So it's Hartlepool v Ansty Nomads.
I have a clue where that is in the country.
I think it's in Leicestershire.
Leicestershire, is it? Right, interesting.
But, so looking forward to it. Anyway, look, on to more significant things.
Yeah.
Scotland this evening. We know what they need to do. They just need to beat Denmark to qualify for the World Cup finals. I use the word just advisedly. What are the odds?
Well, they're underdogs. There's no doubt about that. Denmark 5-4 favourites, Scotland 9-4. But gents, if you'd have said to Scotland at the start of this campaign, win your last game at home to qualify for the World Cup, they'd have snapped your hands off, wouldn't they, up there in Scotland? So great opportunity. I'm sure the crowd are going to be right behind them tonight, so it's not going to be easy for Denmark. So, how do you rate their chances, Ben?
9-4. I'm having 9-4 at home, especially with if Denmark have got problems with illnesses and things like that as well.
Yeah.
I think just being at home as well gives you massive advantage, especially when it comes to these pressure games like this.
Yeah, great chance. And as I say, that are taking this at the start of the campaign, should be rocking there tonight. And I want to see Scotland at the World. I'm an Englishman and proud Englishman, but it's great when the old nations are there, isn't it? And obviously Ireland have got a chance. They had a great victory against Hungary to get in the playoffs. Chance for Wales to even get in the playoffs. So it'd be brilliant if a lot of these home nations do qualify, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, mate. So Wales, you mentioned them, North Macedonia, who actually have been one of the real surprise packages of this tournament so far. Do Wales go into this one as favourites?
Yeah, they're firm favourites, despite North Macedonia at the moment being ahead of them in the table. Wales 3-4 to prevail tonight. North Macedonia 19-5, so just a little bit shorter than 4-1 there. The draw 13-5, but they need the victory, don't they, tonight, Wales, to get into that playoff spot. And I don't think it's going to be an easy one, I have to say. I think North Macedonia look a strong side, and they've got the World Cup out this evening, haven't they, Craig Bellamy's side?
Yeah, they played pretty well by and large. Even that Belgium game, it was decided by 2 penalties, 2 moments of rashness, by the way, in the Welsh defence. But otherwise, they were pretty decent on the night. We've been talking about Anthony Joshua, AJ against Jake Paul. Have you priced it up at all?
Sorry, I lost you there. Just as you mentioned Joshua. I assume it's Joshua versus Jake Paul, the big fight that was announced yesterday. Yeah, incredible, isn't it? Who'd have thought this would be happening at the start of the year? But look, this is going to be a popular betting event. Make no mistake about it. Anthony Joshua 1-10 favourite, but we're already seeing floods of support, would you believe, for Jake Paul, who's got his army of supporters. He's the outsider at 6-1, but he's the guy we're going to have floods of liabilities for, guys. It is the world we're in now, isn't it, with boxing? You know, whether you like it or not.
John, did you say 6-1 or 66-1?
It probably should be 66-1, Jeff, but it's 6-1. I had to rub my glasses just to make sure I was reading it correctly. But honestly, I would be surprised if it goes a lot shorter, because we're going to have massive liabilities in Jake Paul. We always do, whoever he fights. And despite Anthony Joshua being the world champion, being a former world champion, being the bigger boxer, Jake Paul's the guy people are going to be backing.
What's Joshua's odds? Sorry.
Ben.
Yeah, John's absolutely right. You know, Jake Paul's got an army of online followers, you know, who will support him, and they'll support him with their hard cash as well. John, thanks very much indeed.
Pleasure. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah, I think that's the reason, or one of the reasons as well. I might be completely wrong with this, but, you know, I haven't watched I'm a Celebrity at all. So for Angry Ginge is a hot favourite to win, and I guess that's because he's got the backing of so many online fans.
Yeah, the online fans. This day and age now, it's all about social media presence and following. And in fairness to Ginge, he's a funny lad, you know. He is. We've done a few bits and bobs with him, and yeah, he's not shy at coming forward. I'll tell you that anyway.
Yeah. Be interested to see how it pans out over the next few weeks. That was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to Coral. 18+, gambleaware.org.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Right, 03717223344 is the number to call. Plenty of England fans saying they won't be supporting Scotland tonight. What does Stuart, the Liverpool fan, think? Morning, Stuart.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, guys. Great show. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, mate.
I'm a proud Englishman, but I love Scotland in the World Cup finals. I think the fans bring the party. I don't really remember 1998 at France. There was one of the Scottish fans interviewed, and he said to his missus he'd nipped out for some milk, and he got on a train and went to the World Cup. I mean, if that isn't commitment to the cause. And I just think the World Cup, you want to see the home nations in, don't you?
Yeah,
you know. I mean, Andy Robertson, what a player and what a guy. I'd love to see him at the World Cup finals. I really would.
Yeah, you know, he's not at the end of his career, but his opportunities are running out. And for somebody who's been such a fantastic servant, not just to Scotland, but for Liverpool as well, what a great reward it would be for him to play in a World Cup finals.
Oh, yeah, I'd absolutely love to see him there. Top guy as well, really nice fella. So, yeah, I think, come on, Scotland, get them Danish fellas beat tonight, come on.
Good lad, Stuart. Thank you very much for the call.
That's what we need.
Cheers,
See, bit of positivity like that. I don't mind that one little bit.
You know, people in Scotland might disagree, but I feel there are a lot more people in England who would like Scotland and Wales to win this evening than perhaps they might imagine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure you'll tell me if I am. It is, 8:28. Coming up, we turn our attention back to the England squad. Is there a chance that the England World Cup squad will not include Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cole Palmer, Jack Grealish, or Ollie Watkins? We'll discuss that next.
Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards. So do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows. But as we all
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ben Foster and Arnold Clark at £750 off any used electric car or home charger. Now, on the back of this morning's Times, Tuchel to visit Trent in Spain. Thomas Tuchel said he will go and see Trent Alexander-Arnold in Madrid. Well, he actually said he may FaceTime him, but he may go to see him in Madrid. So does that give fresh hope to Trent Alexander-Arnold? I'm not too sure that it does at this stage, does it, Ben?
No, I think...
he said he wants to get in touch with everybody who's on their long list, which could be 55 people.
Listen, everyone's got a chance. Everyone's got a chance of putting in some performances between now and March and the end of the season to get their name in the frame for a call-up. I just think Alexander-Arnold he's almost... it's his own kind of problem, really, because he's not a conventional right-back. You look at the way that he played for Liverpool, he was coming inside, he was marauding up and down, he had Mo Salah in front of him. He struggled a little bit since he's moved to Real Madrid. And I just think that Thomas Tuchel likes more of a... I think if Reece James is fit...
And there is the point.
Yes.
If Reece James is fit, and if Reece James stays fit during the tournament.
If Reece, that again is the big question, is can Reece James stay fit for continuous games every 5 or 6 days and the training in between as well? He's going to have to be managed, but if you get a fit and fully flowing Reece James on the pitch, he's as good as you will see. He's a specimen of a man.
Yeah. You completely agree with that, but if you're looking at a backup full-back...
he's got to go. You can't not take Trent. You can't.
Well, I mean, I just wonder if he's thinking that way at the moment. I think Trent has got to get minutes for Real consistently during the next 3 or 4 months. I mean, Tino Livramento can play right back or left back.
Jed Spence can play that. We've got there's so many options,
which may put them ahead of Trent.
Possibly, yes. Just for the kind of as utility players can fill in all those little slots as well. Yeah, it's going to be so interesting. Going back to it, between now and then is just so much can happen.
Yeah. The Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher joined talkSPORT's Sunday Edition show a week or so ago. He admitted that Trent has got a lot to do for both club and country.
He's just got back fit. I don't think it's the end of the road for him for England, because I think Jude Bellingham was in a similar situation last month, where I think Thomas Tuchel mentioned that he'd only just come back fit, he just played a couple of games. So that just tells you, like, someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold has still got, it's not over for him. There's still a long way to go. If he's playing week in, week out for the biggest club in the world and playing well, I don't see how he can't go in some ways. But there is huge competition in that position, as I mentioned before. So listen, I do think it'll be tough for Trent. I do. But if he can get back to his best, he'll give himself a great opportunity.
Needs to get back to his best. Needs to get back in that Real Madrid team on a consistent basis. But look, the England squad could potentially not include Trent Alexander-Arnold, could potentially not include Adam Wharton, could potentially, well, most likely would not include Jack Grealish. Ollie Watkins, big question mark there. I've been told to ask this question, okay? Would an England B team qualify for the World Cup, and how well would they do? And I know you're going to say that's the arrogance of the English, and that's why I said to you, I've been told to ask that. But Ben, what do you think? Would an England B team, they would qualify, okay, wouldn't they?
Okay, name names. Who was it that asked us to ask this question?
Well, it's producer Ollie.
Producer Ollie, you've thrown a grenade.
Don't get any more English than producer Ollie, by the way.
Yeah.
He is so anti-Scots and Welsh, you can't believe it.
He just poked his head in and said, right, talk about this then. So, so listen to this team, okay? So, Dean Henson in goal, Chalobah, Dan Burn, Livramento, Trent at right back, Adam Wharton, Alex Scott, Jordan Henderson, Anthony Gordon, Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins. All of these players have been mentioned with possibly missing out or might not make the starting lineup. And I just think if we put that 11 out throughout the qualifiers, they would have qualified just as comfortably as what the actual A-team England team did.
Yeah, just to play devil's advocate, a lot of those players, to me, a lot of those players will be going in. Dan Burn will be going to the World Cup, in my opinion. Jordan Henderson will be going to the World Cup.
I think we have probably got 3 starting 11s that are very, very good teams. That's the problem that Thomas Tuchel's got, though. He's talking about 50-odd players, and it's genuinely is 50-odd players that have a chance of making it to the World Cup.
Yeah. Is Jack Grealish one of those 50-odd?
Of course. He's got to be one of the 50. Again, he would be, at this moment in time, probably in the B team, which is incredible because he's probably playing the best football he's played in years. But I just think maybe his age is a determining factor in this, but then you get the likes of a Jordan Henderson, but then they're different people, different characters, they offer different things. This is why Thomas Tuchel gets paid the big bucks, and we are sitting here doing this.
Yeah, I mean, Jack needs to have an absolutely astonishing 3 or 4 months, because you're not in the squads in March. You're not going to be going, are you?
No, he's got to have an astonishing. But in fairness, he started like that just with the eye test. You watch him play and you know that he's back to his best. He's free flowing. He's careless. He just does what comes most natural to him. It's whether that fits into the manager's style of play and the system and what he requires from players. The sad fact is that at this moment in time, there's probably quite a few players in front of him.
Yeah. I look at the England squad, and we've been brilliant in qualifying, by the way. You can only beat what's put in front of you, and we've done it, and quite often we've done it emphatically as well. Never more so than that win in Serbia, which was brilliant. My concerns when we come up against the big boys, if you like, would be defensively, particularly central defence. I think we're probably a bit short of options there. You know, Mark Gahey, brilliant. Ezri Konsa's done fantastically as well. And at centre forward, what the heck happens if Harry Kane gets injured between now and the World Cup?
I'm honestly, genuinely not even thinking about if Harry Kane gets injured. I don't want to go down that avenue because the options... The problem is we've got one of the best strikers in world football, and you don't want to really look past him, because if you've got that, then just focus on using that, all right? And the problem with the strikers that fall in behind him is that they're not going to get so many minutes because they're not in the limelight like Harry Kane is. So that's something I'm not necessarily worried about. With your other point with regards to playing the better nations and getting us more on the back foot, that's the bit I'm more interested in, is when you are playing against players that I think England at the moment, we're so much on the front foot because we know we're so much better than everybody else in our group that we're on the front foot all the time. But when you're playing against better opposition, it gets you on the half turn. It gets you on the back foot sometimes as well. And that breeds through the team and you can feel it sometimes and it weighs heavy on the team sometimes. And that's the bit is how England can deal with that. Are they able to deal with that? We've got big enough players to do it, but we haven't really been tested enough. Only in the major tournaments do you get tested.
How do you think we'll deal with the conditions as well? Because everybody says it's going to be incredibly steamy out there.
I think it's well known that the South American teams are better at dealing with things like that, but it is going to be steamy. It's going to be very, very hot. But they do a lot of prep actually in the build-up to those tournaments. They'll go out to America early doors. They'll go somewhere it's very warm. It's obviously that time of year anyway, so it's even warm over here in the UK. But they'll go out early doors just to get used to the humidity, the time zones, the difference in time zones as well. So they'll do as much prep as they can to get ready. But it will be a problem, you know.
Yeah. Just some reports coming in at the moment. Norwich City, one of 4 championship sides without a manager at the moment, are set to appoint the former Rangers boss, no, not that one, Philippe Clement, as their new manager. Liam Manning having left the club after a disappointing start of the season. Of course, Clement's managed Rangers, Monaco and Genk, to name a few. Well, that is a left-wing appointment if it happens, isn't it, Ben?
Yeah, Norwich have been unbelievably poor this season. I think they're second from bottom at the moment.
Yeah,
but that championship, if you look down the bottom anyway, the teams down there, they could any other season be conceivably the top 6. It is completely turned on its head. Like Sheffield Wednesday obviously cut adrift with the points deduction as well, but Sheffield United down there, Blackburn down there, Southampton down there. So the championships is a brutal league. It really is a brutal league. And as managers go, you know that if you're going to lose 4, 5, 6 games in a row nowadays, that's it. You're gone.
Norwich City fans, love to hear from you. What would you make of that? Philippe Clement apparently set to become your new manager. 03717 223344. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Scotland fans, Wales fans, England fans, give us a ring and begin the build-up to tonight's World Cup qualifiers. 03717 223344. Scotland will reach a first World Cup finals since 1998 if they beat Denmark at Hampden. But Sarah, the England fan, is hoping that doesn't happen.
Whatever the team was that was playing against England, the shirts would be sold out at the sports shops. The ABE, anyone but England T-shirts would be sold out. And I have never been so patriotic to my country than those 15 years I lived in Glasgow.
Pick up the phone, have your say at 9 o'clock. We'll also be joined by a man who knows this Scotland squad very well. Barry Bannon will be joining us just after 9. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With 250 hire branches nationwide, it's easy to hire at Travis Perkins.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. It's 8:48, Tuesday, November the 18th. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Foster's with us through till 10 o'clock this morning. Right, news coming in. Norwich close to appointing the former Rangers manager, Philippe Clement, as their new boss. He's quickly becoming former Ipswich striker and huge Celtic fan. Alan Brazil's least favourite person. 03717223344 is the number to call. I wonder what Big Alan makes of that. And former Rangers boss taking over at Ipswich. Anyway, let's find out what Keith, who is a Norwich fan, makes of it. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning. Underwhelmed, I think, at the moment. I'd need to see. There's a lot riding on this. I don't know how well versed you are with the politics at the club at the moment, but there are several senior execs in the club who are hanging by a thread. And if they haven't got this right, they're at the clamour for the. I mean, there's a massive clamour for the heads to roll within the board anyway. And if they haven't got this right, then that's just going to get worse and worse. But, we've been sort of given names, which I think some of which, Gary O'Neill, for instance, were favourable to the fans. And then all of a sudden, out of left field, we've got a name that the first time I actually heard him mentioned associated with the club was when you announced it this morning.
Keith, how has it come to this with Norwich? Because it wasn't so long ago you were in the Premier League, and then you've always been sort of there or thereabouts with regards to sort of playoffs and promotion. And then, as it stands at the minute, you're, 4 points from safety, second bottom in the Championship.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got the accounts the other day, and I haven't read through them yet because I've passed them to a friend of mine who's very interested. But we do seem to, we fill the ground every week. It's the ground's not big enough for us, but we fill it every week. But they've got some weird idea at the moment, probably coming from the other side of the pond, that we can fill half the ground with, corporate clients who are on the prawn sandwiches and the champagne and paying massive amounts of money. And as a result of that, they wanted to move thousands of the loyalist fans to a different part of the ground and move the away fans. And that's called up a real hornet's nest. There's been protest against that. They had a meeting to sort of, which was supposed to be a consultation meeting, and all it was to appease their consciences, and the contempt that was shown for the fans from some of the senior execs at that meeting was, palpable. So the club have managed to get themselves into a position by, I don't think it's financial mismanagement. I just think that a club the size of Norwich struggle with the finances required even at Championship level.
Keith, thank you very much indeed. Be interested to see how this pans out because, of course, Philippe Clement has managed some big teams, obviously Rangers, Monaco, Club Brugge, but he's never managed in England and certainly never managed in the Championship. Now, let's turn our attention to Wales, shall we? North Macedonia are in town. They currently have the same points as Wales. They sit above them at the moment on goal difference. A Welsh win would guarantee them second place, and the importance of that is that would mean a home draw in those playoff semi-finals. Manager Craig Bellamy spoke about the massive job in front of his side tonight.
I can lie to you if you want me to and say it doesn't, but, come on, to finish second and have a home game, it's huge because if we finish fourth, the away game and the teams that are in those games, and I just have this overriding VAR fear as well, and, referees staying in the pockets, like get out of those areas. We can't play those balls centrally if you're in them. They seem to like living in those zones. It's, thank God, ours don't here. So it allows the game to really be able to connect. I've learned quite a bit from that, and I have to be honest, playing at home and just my experience of watching Wales down the years, and being able to qualify for major tournaments through the playoffs and being at home, it's a huge advantage for us. So we're going to try and do everything we can. So hopefully in March we have that advantage as well.
Let's get more on the game tonight and cross over to the former Wales captain, Rob Earnshaw. Morning, Rob.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. Are you feeling a bit nervous?
Not really, to be honest with you. I'm actually quite confident. I actually believe that they'll go and win tonight, and not because I think North Macedonia are not good. I just think they're very, very good. They haven't lost a game in the group, and they played Belgium twice, who are top. So they haven't lost a game. But I just feel like the last game, playing at home, is a big advantage for Wales. And I just feel like what we haven't seen is we haven't seen a full 90-minute performance yet from Craig Bellamy's team, and he's still kind of progressing this team. I just feel like they'll still win it tonight. I just feel like it's going to be one of those big wins.
Mm. I mean, I watched the game in Liechtenstein. Look, 1-0 doesn't sound great, does it? But actually, Wales were value for a lot bigger win than that.
Mm. Yeah, I was actually doing the game. I was watching the game live there in the studio. So it was one of those that it was so many chances and so many opportunities, and it could have been 5 and 6-0, but we just didn't execute enough. And for whatever reason, it was one of those that if I was a striker playing on that day and we didn't score more than 3 goals, then I would have gone home and thinking, oh, is it possible? And I wouldn't have slept. But it just felt like a real frustrating night. But it was about, can we go to Liechtenstein? Can we get a win? Yes, they did that. And can we actually set it up for North Macedonia? Whoever wins comes at least second, and barring some crazy result with Belgium, at least that second place would be kind of like a playoff tonight, where whoever wins, is guaranteed second.
Rob, Big Kiefer Moore's been on fire for Wrexham so far this season. How have the team adapted this international break without him?
Yeah, do you know what? The thing about what I've noticed with Craig Bellamy in charge is even with Kiefer Moore, whether he's playing well or not, whether you got Brennan Johnson playing well or not, Craig has had a game plan for each individual game, and you actually can't quite predict what he wants from each individual game. So he really analyzes every game and says, no, this is the player that is going to be the most effective in this game. And it doesn't matter what's happening. The good thing is quite a lot of our attacking players are generally in form, like your Kiefer Moore. They're generally doing well at club level, so at least he's got that to choose from. I actually we've actually gone the other way, where in past probably last 5 or 6 years, we've gone lots of defenders, quite a few midfielders, to now having lots of options in the attacking end. The problem Craig's going to have is actually going to be in midfield, where Ethan Ampadu got a yellow the other night, suspended. Jordan James, who scored the winner, suspended. And now he's got a big hole in midfield. Harry Wilson is back, which is a great positive. And, if you talk about kind of the attackers, when Harry Wilson is behind you, he's generally created multiple chances for lots of players, lots of attacking players. So I think they've been fine. They've been okay. But, of course, they've got to miss him, because I think he would have scored at least 1 or 2 the other night.
Are you worried about Craig Bellamy getting snapped up by somebody else? I don't think it's not even necessarily just what he's done with Wales. He's obviously done a fantastic job, but the way that he talks in press conferences, the way he comes across, it's completely different to the Craig Bellamy we used to see as a player, isn't it?
Oh yeah, completely different. He's it's funny. I played with him, and kind of knowing him as a player, it's completely different. The way he's more measured, he's more calmer, he's calculated. There's still that fire within the 90 minutes if you watch him on the touchline. But he's listen, at some point, I know him, and I think he's a fantastic young manager. He's still learning, he's still adapting, and he's still working, but he's going to be a fantastic coach as he goes, because he knows he's not the finished article. But, of course, I know at some point lots of people, lots of teams are going to be after Craig Bellamy, and they should do, because, I've kind of got a bit of an inside knowledge in knowing him, and I've actually gone to watch him coach. and work with players. So I know how good he is. But I wouldn't be surprised in the future. I hope it's not now, but I wouldn't be surprised in the future that lots of teams are after him, and they should be as well. Because I would be, I would be after him because not because he's who he is and I know him, but because I see his body of work. He is so meticulous. He's always studying. And he's been studying for a number of years. So it's not like he's arriving right now and Wales are doing well because, he just started coaching. Wales are doing well and he's progressing this team because he spent 6, 7, 8 years behind the scenes working with Vincent Company, studying all sorts of different coaches to arrive in this position. So that's why at some point, people are going to be looking for him and thinking, okay, he's the right man for our football club. So the worry is we want him to stay with Wales right now because he's brought a real forward-thinking, bright, tactically smart kind of team. So that's why.
You're safe till after the World Cup, Rob. That is absolutely for sure. You're dead right as well. Yeah. I love the way that now under Craig Bellamy, Wales are unafraid to take the game to the opposition, regardless of how big that opposition is. Rob, good luck tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Even against Belgium, even away from home against Belgium, unafraid to have a go. And I absolutely love that, rather than just sitting back, soaking up the pressure and hoping to snatch something. Not the way he wants to play the game, which is great. But he's definitely a changed character from when he used to play.
He's the angriest man ever, wasn't he? Off.
Yeah. Not anymore. It's impossible to rile him up these days, unless you're a referee. Coming up, Scotland could qualify for the World Cup finals tonight with a win against Denmark. So is this squad ready to compete with the world's best? We'll ask Barry Bannon that question next.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Good morning, it's 6 minutes past 9. It is Tuesday, November the 18th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Forster is with me through until 10. It is a crucial night for the Scottish national football team. And one of our own here at talkSPORT is hoping for an inspired performance.
Scotland. Tonight is the night. History may not be on your side, but glory can be. I was in my mid-40s the last time I saw you in the flesh at a World Cup finals. France 98. It's time to come out of the wilderness. Come on, lads. Do it for your country. Do it for the Tartan Army. Do it for me, so I can get Longshanks off my back here in the talkSPORT studio.
Could not give a monkeys whether Scotland win a game, get out of the group, qualify, get beat 6-0 or win a game. Couldn't care less.
Was like us. Damn few. And the Radid. I've always wondered what that means.
Well, that's brought one question to mind immediately for me, and I don't know the answer. Jim White was in his mid-40s when Scotland last reached the World Cup finals. That was 27 years ago. How old is Jim White?
60. I just done a quick Google check. 68.
68?
How well does he look for 68?
Yeah, he looks really well for 68. I'm very impressed, Jim. Will you be impressed with Scotland tonight, though? That is the question. Let's continue the build-up to the game now in the company of the Sheffield Wednesday captain. Capped, 27 times by Scotland. Barry Bannon, morning, Barry.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ben.
Morning, Barry.
Hey, Barry, I mean, it's a massive game, of course it is. But I look at the side who's likely to start for Scotland this evening. You know, the likes of Andy Robertson, Lewis Ferguson, Scott McTominay, John McGinn, Shea Adams. Experience at the highest level. They should be the sort of players who can cope with this occasion, shouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely, Jeff. Like you said, there's a lot of players there playing at the top level in football, whether it's abroad or in the English Premiership. So they're involved week in, week out in massive games. And I think tonight won't be any different to the games that they're playing week in, week out. I think they'll be looking forward to it as players. I think if you gave them the chance at the start of the group stage of winning at home against Denmark in the last game, they will take that and fancy their chances. So I think they'll be excited for tonight.
What's the Hampden crowd going to be like tonight, Barry? Because it's a nervy occasion, or are they going to be all guns blazing from the get-go?
I think they'll start out that way, but I think the players need to help them as well in the game. I think they need to come out the box really quick. I think the last few games at Hampden, they've let teams come and have too much of the ball, and that affects the fans then as well. But I think tonight's a different occasion. I think the fans will be there the whole time behind them, and that can be a powerful weapon for Scotland tonight, because when that fan base gets going, it's an amazing feeling. So they'll be the 12th man tonight, no doubt.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the mentality of the Danish team, won't it? Because they had this place in the palm of their hands, and nobody expected it to slip through their fingers. And you just wonder whether that might have some effect on them.
Yeah, of course. I think probably a few games ago, everyone thought they were home and dry, so that could affect them tonight as well. They could be nervous coming to Hampden in front of that crowd. I know they've got some world-class players who have played at the top level as well and experience all the way throughout. But football's crazy when you get into these arenas, and after the back of a bad result of the weekend for them, they might be feeling a bit of pressure tonight. They wouldn't have wanted to come to Hampden knowing they've got to get a point to go through. So, yeah, like I said, Scotland have got to try and take advantage of that and start fast and put them on the back foot and try and capitalise on a bit of nerves that they probably have in their squad.
Would you like to be playing in this one tonight, Barry? You're 35 years old, Barry. You should be right in there doing a bit still, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to. Obviously, watching from afar, it's hard because I'm still playing every week at my club in the Championship. So, yeah, I would obviously feel as if I could do a job. I still feel good in myself. So, yeah, I'll be watching tonight a bit jealous, but I'll be cheering the lads on because I know quite a few of them still in the squad. So it'd be great if they can get there. And it makes everybody summer for the country. I remember the Euros not long ago. The country just gets a whole lift. And even though we struggled in the last few big tournaments, results-wise, the country's been amazing, and the match days for Scotland.
Yeah, I think you've got a not-so-secret weapon these days in Ben Doak as well, who's just been fantastic, you know, just needs to improve that final ball sometimes. But can you imagine what the atmosphere will be like in Scotland this evening, Barry, you know, if you do it, you do beat Denmark and get there?
Yeah, there'll be a few, I'm sure there'll be a few call-offs from work in the morning if they get there. There'll be people out tonight and not going home. So, yeah, it's the country's very, very patriotic and love their football. So they'll be dying to get to this World Cup because, as I said, it's probably been nearly 30 years now since the last one. So they've missed out on that for so long. So if they get there tonight, the whole country deserves to celebrate.
It'll be brilliant. It'll be fever pitch tonight at Hampden. And by the way, it will be at the weekend at Hillsborough as well, won't it? Wednesday got United in the Steel City Derby. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, it's a massive week for us. Obviously, the Steel City Derby's coming up on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. It's been a hard start for both sides of the city, so that can give the fans a bit of something to cheer if whoever comes out on top in that on Sunday. So yeah, it's a big one and I can't wait.
Yeah, well, it could be a fantastic week for you, couldn't it?
Barry, before you go, quickly, we did a podcast with Stephen Fletcher, your mate, a couple of days ago. I asked him the question, who was the best player you played with throughout your career? And he said you, mate. He said you. So high praise indeed. And also we spoke to Paul Lambert earlier on and asked him that if the shoe was on the other foot and it was England in a big game tonight, would you be supporting England to go through? So what would you be doing?
Oh, I need to be careful what I'm saying here because the wife will be listening to this. No, I've been down here for a while now, most of my life actually, but I don't think I would be supporting England, to be honest, Beth.
Yeah. Hey Barry, you sound English, mate.
Nah, that's my posh Scottish accent.
Brilliant. Hey Barry, well, good luck on Sunday, and of course the best of luck to Scotland tonight as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks, chaps. See you later. Bye.
He's always great value, Barry.
He's a great player, by the way. Honestly, great player. The absolute championship legend he is, honestly.
Yeah, well, he's a legend with Sheffield Wednesday fans for sticking with them through the most difficult times imaginable as far as football fans are concerned. Coming up, we'll turn our attention back to the boxing world and whether AJ is jeopardising his legacy by taking a fight against Jake Paul. We'll discuss that next. Good morning, 9:18, almost 9:19. In fact, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Foster is with me. Right, let's head to the phone show. I've been discussing this morning whether Thomas Tuchel could genuinely not take Trent Alexander-Arnold to the World Cup. Would that be a mistake? Martin's a Liverpool fan. He's given us a call. Morning, Martin.
Morning, you all right?
Yeah, very good, thanks, mate. What do you think then? Should Trent be in the squad?
Yeah, well, he's definitely got to be considered, hasn't he? You've got to think. Harry Kane's up front, so he's. I think his key passes are pivotal, really, to get on the end of. But yeah, absolutely, Jeff.
Yeah. Would you understand why, when he's played so few minutes for Real Madrid, that Thomas Tuchel might decide to overlook him?
It's defensively, really, isn't it? I mean, if you think I can't remember, is Carvajal injured? I think he's still playing, isn't he?
He did get an injury earlier on, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose in that sense, yes. And then looking at the other options as well, as you just rightly pointed out, like Livramento playing different positions, and you've got to be looking at them things as well, haven't you? Really, but. It's kind of one of them, isn't it? I mean, if you're going into the later stages of the game and you're looking for a chance created, you've got to be thinking Trent.
Okay.
You must be thinking Trent.
Are you missing him at Liverpool?
Yes, absolutely, yeah, definitely. And look at us now. We're struggling a little bit, aren't we? But time will tell. Season's still young, but we're thinking more top four than anything at the moment. I think the league is a little bit far-fetched, but we'll have to wait and see.
Martin, thanks very much for the call.
Lovely. Cheers. Thanks, Jeff.
I think Martin probably answered our question straight away there. You said, do you think he's going to go? And he went, yeah, maybe. Not sure.
Yeah. Let's hope Thomas Tuchel isn't thinking, yeah, maybe, not sure. I don't think he will be. I think Tuchel will pretty much know already whether he's going to take Trent Alexander-Arnold. In fact, I'm guessing that he pretty much knows his squad.
I don't know,
You're not?
No, I don't know. I think, no, I don't. I think when he says the 50, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. He's probably got 35, 35 maybe, and he's probably paying lip service to the rest of them. But no, out of the 35, I think there's still plenty of places up for grabs.
Okay. Time will tell. Of course, the next set of internationals coming up in March. World Cup getting underway in June. Now, when the news emerged last week, the former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua might be fighting YouTuber Jake Paul. We all laughed, didn't we, to be honest? Fast forward a few days and it's being confirmed Joshua against Paul in a professional fight is on.
What fitness, what heart from Klitschko, but the fight has been stopped! Lift off for AJ!
I always take every fight seriously.
Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Jake Paul!
Boxing damages itself left, right and centre, but I think the reputability and the credibility of some of these boxing sanctioning bodies is poor anyway. Jake Paul is going to get demolished.
I remember standing on a football pitch and playing against Steven Gerrard and Paul Scholes, and when I stand there looking at him thinking, right, I'm gonna run all over him today. Within 5 minutes, I realised there's levels to this game.
I think that it's a hopeless and potentially dangerous mismatch.
Yeah, 19th of December, they'll go at it in Miami. Joshua's got to win at 245 pounds, which is lighter than his previous 3 fights. Jake Paul has said, when I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt will disappear. Then no one can deny me the opportunity to fight for a world title. To all of my haters, this is what you wanted. Let's get more on this with the former British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion, Derek Chisora. Morning, Derek.
Morning, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks, mate. So if they offered you 70 million to step in the ring with Jake Paul, would you do it?
Mate, if they're
Yeah. Look, I mean, when we look at AJ against Jake Paul, what sort of gulf do you expect to see?
Listen, we are in the game of entertainment. Either we entertainment in the ring or on a football pitch, it don't matter. It's called entertainment. People are going to buy tickets to go watch Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight. You know, we're all entertainers, either way. So I'm happy. I'm so happy for AJ because he's doing this for himself. And you have to understand, you have to give so much respect to Jake Paul. You know, whatever he says, he makes it happen. You know, before he was like he wants to fight Anthony Joshua and people were laughing at him. And then suddenly it's happened and people are like, wow, what's going on here? You know, so kudos to that kid, man. He's very good at promoting everything he does.
Derek, do you reckon there's a bit of jealousy from other boxers and even like pundits flying around as well? Because even since it's been announced last night and today...
I know the biggest jealousy pundit you guys have in that is Simon Jordan. I'm telling you right now, Simon Jordan right now, he must be suffering inside and out right now because he knows Eddie's making money, Anthony Josh's making money. So he is dying right now, Simon Jordan.
Look, Derek, and I know you say it's entertainment and there'll be a massive audience, but is there an element of danger as well? Look, AJ's a former world champion, and this is a guy, you know, the best he's been in with is Tommy Fury.
Listen, he don't really care. He don't, you know, in the boxing ring, it's the only place you can murder somebody and not go to jail. So, kudos to that. So if he gets beaten up and something happens, it's part of the game.
Well, I'm not sure that's a game that people will want to see, though.
Is it a real fight, though? Is this going to be a proper fight? You will know more than most.
Mate, let me tell you something. From how much they're getting paid, about much 177 million, whatever, and they're splitting it down the middle. So I hope it's not a game because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony. I said, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's going to be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
Yeah, and I think you're dead right. Is he worried about that? Is he worried about what happens, you know, if he doesn't see him off in the first round or the second round?
No, he's not worried about it. He's going to smoke this guy out. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to smoke this guy out properly. I'll be there. He's going to smoke him. I can't wait.
Theoretically, if he comes out swinging, right, AJ should be able to get it done in are we talking 30 seconds if AJ is giving it everything he's got?
Listen, if AJ comes in there and just blows on this kid, he's gonna just drop him to the floor. So I don't really. I'm just wasting money going to Miami because I know it's gonna be finished in 1 round. So don't
are you gonna go?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely be gonna go.
Okay.
I have to be there. It's gonna be exciting.
Okay, Derek. Look, thanks for your time this morning. Thanks for joining us, mate.
No, thank you very much, guys. God bless.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this fight at all.
That's what I mean, though. If he goes there and just goes, well, I'm just going to go turbo mode for sort of give me 30 seconds of hey, like everything, you'd like to think Jake Paul's just going to be cowering in the corner thinking, oh, no, what have I signed up to here?
Yeah. Well, you know...
£240, Anthony Joshua. That's 120 kilo, that is.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, generally speaking, when Jake Paul has fought, he's fought at a much lower weight. He's the shorter man. I think he's 5 inches shorter. Maybe more than that, because people have speculated he officially 6'1", but people speculate actually he ain't 6'1". He's a bit shorter than that.
Have you seen how long?
Anthony Joshua's got a massive reach advantage.
His arms are so long. You're not getting anywhere near him.
Yeah, I just fear that there, you know, despite what Derek says, there may be an element of danger in this fight. You know, I'm sort of on Simon Jordan's side. I've got to be honest. I think it's the sort of thing that it might be entertainment, and the army of Jake Paul fans, they want to see it. I'm not sure if he gets absolutely demolished, whether they'll be quite so happy.
Yeah, let's just hope nothing major goes wrong, basically. That's all we can hope for.
Absolutely. Look, big thanks to Derek Chisora there. He is on his way to Miami to watch that fight. It is on December the 19th, Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul. Coming up, we'll get more on Ben's experience of playing for Hollywood Rex. We might talk a bit more about goalkeepers as well, by the way. That's next.
Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules behind it? Back when association football started, pitches could be 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs have been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge just to adjust. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one, 2 metres wider than others. But the smallest of all? Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 metres wide. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too, such as Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, where the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. So UEFA have their standards, so do the FA, but they give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long, between 45 and 90 metres wide. Just imagine a pitch that's 120 metres long and 45 wide. Madness. So there you have it. There is a standard size and most teams do generally follow it. But as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Still want me to come with you?
Steps up now, takes it, and Foster saved! Foster dives away to his right-hand side with 10 seconds left, and he saves the penalty.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ben Foster and Arnold Clark. Get £750 of any used car or home charger. Ben there saving a crucial penalty in 2023 against Notts County on the way to Wrexham clinching promotion from the National League. I remember that because, you know, obviously I love football and I'd had 20 pints that day. So just listening to the news about stereotypes, you know. You remember that? Obviously you remember that moment.
Yeah, it was a good moment. That was, considering I played England, Man United, I played, 500 games in my career. Still, the only thing anybody ever wants to come and talk to me about is that penalty save for Wrexham against Notts County. But no, it was great. It was, what a moment to save it, because I feel we deserve that game anyway. And if the goal would have gone in, it'd have been a bit unjust, really.
Yeah. And of course the fairy tale went on because that was the National League, and look where they are now.
I know, yeah. I'd give it another year, or maybe even this year. You know, I say we, that's what Wrexham does to you. It has this sort of effect where they kind of draw you in. But I think if we're knocking on the playoff places come January time, I think the club will probably go again and try to really push for it. But even if it's not this season, I don't think it's going to be far away until you see Wrexham in the Premier League.
Yeah, really?
Oh, yeah, without doubt. Oh, they're not here to just...
Because, you know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mackley put a lot of money in, and I know they've got other backers as well now. Yeah. But the money you need in the Premier League is a whole different ball game, isn't it, from the Championship?
It will be a whole different ball game if they do get to the Premier League, to see how they're going to approach it and what kind of money they go for. But as it stands at the minute, they're in touching distance of the playoffs. I think they're, 3 points off now?
Yeah.
So they've definitely got a chance. That Championship, honestly, anything can happen in that Championship. And they've started to turn into a bit of form as well. Beat Coventry, top of the league, a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. I mean, we've seen that game and, turned it around brilliantly, didn't they? And they've had a fantastic run. And, you know, you have to say that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have done everything that they said they would do, not just at the club, but within the town as well. So well done to them. And, of course, they took you to Vegas too, which is very nice. And if Vegas is your kind of holiday. It was certainly Ben's. Listen up as talkSPORT and our mates at Virgin Atlantic are giving you the chance to win an incredible trip for two to Vegas. You'll kick things off in style, exclusive access to the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse at Heathrow. Then you'll fly upper class, flat beds, premium service all the way. And when you touch down, you'll check into a spa villa for 4 nights. Cheer from the stands as the Las Vegas Raiders take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're throwing in just $5,000 in cash to play with while you're there. So clear your calendar. January the 2nd to the 7th, 2026 are the dates to have clear, because this could be the greatest start ever to a new year. Good luck.
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Yeah, as I say, very best of luck to you. Right, time now for someone a bit special. Time for someone who used to do this.
Just stay behind the line. Well done, Denise Lewis. Now then, what about this? And I tell you what, she's absolutely smashed her lifetime best with that one. There's Von Mills. Come on, come on. She's over the line, nearly out on her feet. Well, dare I say it, unofficially, Denise Lewis will become the Commonwealth champion for heptathlon.
There is pain there, but there's a possible gold medal. It's going to be so close. Denise Lewis is the Olympic champion. She's got it.
Yeah, gold medalist in the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney. Denise Lewis joins us right now. Morning, Denise.
Hello, good morning. Oh my goodness, throwbacks.
Yo, I'm sure you could still do it now.
Looks
like she could, I'll
tell you that.
Yeah, brilliant. Hey, look, let's get the serious business talked about first of all, because you're heading up a new campaign. Now, I was really shocked by this. A report by Scottish Widows says that taking time out to raise a family results in women having £113,000 less in their pensions than men. So having kids means that you pay a price for your whole life if you're a woman.
Yes, you're right. And this is according to this Women and Retirement report, as you said, from Scottish Widows. And it is quite alarming to me to that figure of £113,000 difference for your private, if you've got a private pension, that is, difference between what a man would have versus the woman. So that is the gender gap that we're talking about, and that is a colossal amount of money. So yeah, the call to action is basically for women to be more aware and start planning, because those career breaks may happen, whether it's through health reasons or whether it is literally maternity breaks, that you actually sit down and think about how that impacts you later on in life.
Denise, interestingly, I was with Laura Kenny a few weeks ago, actually, and she was telling us about when she was competing. She got pregnant with her first child. Luckily, well, not luckily enough, because she's a world-class athlete, but she managed to get back to competing, won another Olympic gold medal. But a lot of athletes aren't as fortunate as that, are they? That having the children, starting the family, can set them back and even in some cases end the career for them as well.
Well, there has been more of a move for women to try to do both. They have their careers, then they choose to have a baby break and go back. But it is solely reliant on the support that you are going to get, whether that's family, friends. I know a lot of the organisations are trying to make that segue much easier for women to have that choice. But it can impact a woman, not only their performance going forward, but long term, how they then plan for their retirement. Laura Kenny, as you said, was very successful and came back and was victorious, and so I'm sure she's getting that financial planning that is really so key to actually addressing this gap. I mean, I know personally in my 20s, when I was sat down and said, okay, maybe you should start thinking about your financial future. I'm thinking about, I'm in my 20s. Why would I worry about it? Why should I even think about it? But thank goodness I did. And my call to action is for not only sports women who, as you know, receive much less money in various sports. It's only that top percentage of women that are on really good incomes, to sit down and think about their retirement and retirement planning.
Yeah. I mean, examples of people coming back from kids, the astonishing Helen Glover, who I think had 3 kids in about 4 years. And
Serena Williams.
Jess Ennis-Hill. Yeah. There are numerous women that have done it successfully. Yeah. But you're talking about women that really have, some support around them. But for the vast majority of women, and particularly in team sports, that is not really the case.
Denise, where are we with track and field in the UK at the moment? Because obviously Tokyo was really disappointing in terms of the medal return.
We're just a little bit off where we'd have liked, and there was some issues, as there always are at championships. You have to remember that track and field athletes have been competing off the bounce. If you go back to even as far as 2022, we had the 3 championships, Commonwealths, Europeans, and there's World Championships thereafter, another Budapest World Championships in 23, Olympics, and it just doesn't stop. And I think some of the athletes were impacted by that, and some of the choices maybe made in the early part of the season, competition choices, and it was a very long season, very late season. So yes, the medal haul wasn't as what we'd expected, what we'd hoped, and the athletes, some of them were more disappointed than others, but ultimately, sport, you've got to live to fight another day, and we're looking forward to a very busy again next year with our European Championships coming to Birmingham for the first time. I'm sure people will be cherry picking what competitions they will do, because the seasons are going to get longer, as SEBCO has told us, with the Ultimate World Championships coming at the end of the season.
Do we need a superstar? I mean, we've got Keely Hodgkinson. It's funny, isn't it? Because we were talking about Keely in the studio earlier on. Keely's done so fantastically well, and has been a sort of big face of UK athletics in many respects. And then when she comes third in the World Championships, people seem to be on her back.
Well, the sensible ones aren't. The sensible ones realise that sport is like that.
Yeah.
You can't hand medals, over to gold medals to people. They've got to earn it. And Keely, she talks quite candidly about her injury. She did come back and set a new personal best, which is fantastic. But it is really about what happens on the day. And tactically, she may look back at that race and go, I could have done something a bit differently. But fair play to Georgia Hunter-Bell. I mean, fantastic. She ran out of her skin. So
it was a fantastic race. I mean, just to sit at home and watch, it was a fantastic race.
Thrilling, and that's what we want to see. But yes, Keely would have been, and is, I'm sure, very disappointed, but she lives to move on.
I just want to change subject really completely, Denise. You've been in Strictly Come Dancing. Are you watching this series?
I'm just thinking, what a segue. I mean,
I know.
I have been watching a little bit.
Who do you think's going to win? You got any views?
Know.
Don't know.
No, I don't. No, I don't have any views. I haven't been. I just like to see that. We've got very few shows that we can watch, family orientated shows that we can sit down and watch and enjoy. A former athlete, obviously, Harry Akins-Ariti, has been competing and flexing his muscles on the floor and has done very well to this point. So I'm happy. Just enjoy the show.
Yeah. Lewis Cope comes from Hartlepool, my hometown. That's who we're looking for to try and win the thing. Are you loving life at the moment?
That's the segue, isn't it? You wanted your man to do.
My man to
go and take to lift the glitter ball.
Are you loving life at the moment then, Denise? Because you're involved in so many things.
I am loving life. Why? I'm here. I'm raising a family. I've got my pension in order, so I'm quite happy. I think, as I said at the top of the show, it was very important for me to think about these iterations and these changes in life that come through your womanhood. And I've had 4 children, so 4 times where I'm taking these breaks. I've changed and pivoted careers, and so it's been important for me just to keep that longevity going and to show my fellow athletes that with the right due diligence and work, that you can go on some 25 years since my gold medal and hopefully have a really lucrative and happy career post retiring from athletics, which at the time seemed very, very scary.
Yeah. Well, look, brilliant, Denise. Well done for using your position as well to sort of highlight the imbalance and the injustice. That women are receiving so much less in their pensions than men. And thank you for taking the time for joining us this morning.
Love seeing you. Thank you.
Thanks, Denise.
Denise Lewis, I mean, she is a great representative for women, and often I've seen her in campaigns who, speaking out on behalf of women and women's rights and such like.
It's like when I was talking about Laura, it's really interesting because obviously her husband, Jason Kinney, obviously he's competing at the same time, he's winning races. When they have that first child, it doesn't really affect the man. That's, I think, where Denise is coming from. It doesn't really affect... He can carry on about his business, but it's Laura and it's the woman that has to give up what they're doing and raise the family, start raising the family initially anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It does seem a crazy imbalance, doesn't it? Coming up, all morning we've been hearing from England fans on whether they'll be supporting Scotland tonight in their huge game against Denmark. We'll hear some of the best next, and we'll also touch on the available managerial jobs at Southampton, Swansea, Middlesbrough and Norwich with a question mark behind it. Good morning, 9:52. Tuesday, November the 18th. It has flown by. This is talkSPORT Breakfast, last few minutes of it, with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ben Foster's been with me all morning. Of course, a crucial night for Scotland. They can secure qualification to their first World Cup since 1998 with a home win over Denmark. It would see Steve Clarke become the first Tartan Army boss to qualify for 3 major tournaments. And we've been asking the question all morning, do you support the other home nations?
Could not care less. Don't want them to do badly, but could not give a monkeys whether Scotland win a game, get out of the group, qualify, get beat 6-0 or win a game. Couldn't care less.
Wales, Ireland, England, Scotland, they hate each other.
I'm not going to hide my colours here. If you find a Scotsman that wants England to qualify, you'll do really well. I'm pretty sure most of England will want us to get knocked out.
Have you got anything to say to Tom, who wants you to lose 4-0?
Something along the lines of get in the bin, get life. Get a grip of yourself, go brush your teeth, all those kind of things.
Whatever the team was that was playing against England, the shirts would be sold out at the sports shops. The ABE, anyone but England T-shirts would be sold out. And I have never been so patriotic to my country than those 15 years I lived in Glasgow.
The likes of Simon Jordan, Jamie O'Hara, Paul Lambert, Shabana Hearn and Sarah, the England fan, all having their say. Of course, we're in the middle of this international break, and it's massive as far as the likes of Scotland are concerned. But I tell you what, it's massive as well as far as some of the EFL clubs who are not playing are concerned. Because as we stand right now, Middlesbrough, Southampton and Swansea are still looking for a new manager. Today, Norwich City, linked with Philippe Clement, looks like he is their man. You're surprised, though, that all 4 haven't filled their managerial vacancies during the 2-week break.
Yeah, I'd have assumed that all of them should and would have been looking to get that vacancy filled so that they'd have the last 2 weeks to really kind of work on things, implement the new manager's style of play, what he wants from the team. Don't get me wrong, you're going to lose a few players to international duty, but you'll have the majority of the squad to work with. So it's a little bit baffling, to be honest with you. A little bit baffling. Especially Middlesbrough, second in the league.
Yeah. Well, they're being linked really strongly with Kim Hellberg. Swansea were being linked with him before, who was in charge of Hammarby. Remember, they came runners-up to our team, Mjolby, in Sweden. John Dahl Thomason was linked to the Norwich job before we heard about Philippe Clement. And Southampton, they look like they might give the job to Tonda Eckert, who's the number 2 previously at the club. He's only 32 years of age. Where have all the up-and-coming English managers gone?
They're all about 30 now as well, aren't they? These young managers. This seems to be the new, get these young managers in. They haven't got to pay them a lot of money. They'll all have this exciting new style of football that if they can get us up at the Championship, we can try and implement it into the Premier League. And times are changing, Jeff.
Yeah, don't you want a bit of experience in the English game, though? Isn't that helpful? I mean, Gary Neal has been the name on many people's lips for some while now. Even Russell Martin, I know he had an unhappy time at Rangers, but before that went up with Southampton.
Even give me a Neil Warnock, Jeff. I'll take a Neil Warnock, somebody that knows the Championship, because it is different. If you're coming from a different league or even dropping down from the Premier League, the Championship's a different league. It's such a hard slog. You're Saturday, Wednesdays most weeks. Some very physical football being played. So you need somebody that knows the league, knows the players, knows a few bigger clubs that you can get loan moves from as well.
Mm. So I'm sitting there looking and thinking that Middlesbrough part of company with Michael Carrick, and from a Southampton's perspective, that might be pretty appealing. I don't know if they could persuade him to make the move. It's the length of the country. But
first of all, I can't believe they sacked him. I know they went through a little bit of a bad spell anyway at the time, but they've picked right back up again. But I would imagine that Michael Carrick would be somebody that a lot of these teams would have looked at.
Do you think the Premier League club might still
Premier League might start sniffing, but I think for now, a Southampton would suit Michael Carrick down to the ground, because I think he did a great job with Middle. We were talking about Craig Bellamy earlier, weren't we, with how you come across and how you're viewed, and I think Michael Carrick has got that. He's got a bit of aura about him. Players look up to him and respect him as well.
Yeah. Ben, lovely company this morning. Not just me, by the way. Ian's just texted in, and I don't want to get big-headed about this. Listening to Ben Foster is fantastic. Extremely articulate and knowledgeable in many aspects. How has he not been snapped up prior to this? Well, we've snapped him up. He's got He's got other things to do in his life as well, you know.
Well, my friend Matt Ball has just texted and said, "We love Jeff Stelling, we do." There you go.
That's really kind. Mutual Praise Society. That was from Ian, a Cornish Blue Nose, by the way. You never guessed he was a Blue Nose. So thanks for your company again, Ben. See you very shortly.
Cheers, Jeff.
Don't forget that on Thursday morning, Gabby Agbonlahor and I live from the Birmingham City training ground. Amongst the people we'll be speaking to are Jay Stansfield and manager Chris Davis. Don't forget tomorrow, Alan Brazil and Ray Parlour from 6. But up next, it's Jim White and Simon Jordan.
I think, come on, Scotland, get them Danish fellas beat tonight. Come on.